Welcome back to the Clappy Frank Show, episode number 21. Like, subscribe. We have today on the most awesome, incredible jeweler in the world, Levi Laine from Laine Jewelers. Levi, what is going on? And tell us how you got into this business.
Same old, same old. I see you're more enthusiastic than I am. I hope the show actually works out as well as you're portraying it to be. So I think you're a little more enthusiastic than I am. How did I get into the jewelry business? By mistake, like everything else. I was a teacher. I taught in Krasna. Surprise. I taught there for a couple of years.
Goyish.
Krasna, I taught Goyish. I was the Shaygitz. I was teacher Laine. I was the Goy. And I actually liked it. I actually liked it very much. Mendy Balkany convinced me that I could be a teacher. I thought, Limudei Kodesh, I'd be able to.
Jewish studies.
I could figure it out. Limudei Chayil,
Secular studies.
So I was hesitant. And he was like, Levi, you'll be perfect. It's going to be great. Try it out. I actually really, really, really enjoyed teaching. I really, really enjoyed it. The only issue that I had with that was that after a couple of years, I was like, either move me up a grade or move me down a grade. It's like I understood and understand how teachers, a lot of respect to all the teachers out there, but you could have burnout. Like I just.
You did that full time? Isn't it like 2 hours a day?
It was 2 hours a day.
Right.
But I was teaching the same thing every year. It's the same material. I was switching it up a little bit when I would come to history instead of teaching.
That was your only
Civil
job?
War.
2 hours a day working?
I was in 770. I was learning.
Oh, you're studying. Okay.
I was learning in 770, half a day. The first year. The second year I was doing construction. So I was like, move me up, move me down. I was also doing a little bit of real estate. I was like, like everybody was doing real estate then. And I got a license to go do real estate, and I was doing real estate as well. So I was like, up or down a grade. I can't continue teaching the same things over and over. I needed to be a little challenging for me as well. And he was like, this class, I guess it's a tough grade. I'm not very familiar with the school system. To the extent of knowing which grades are harder than others.
What grade was it?
I was doing 6th grade, and from what I understand, 6th grade is a tough grade. He was like, I need you to do 6th grade. The year before I was there, they had gone through 6 teachers. 6 teachers. And they were telling me, Teacher Laine, you'll be out of here by Hanukkah. I was like, Hanukkah came around, they were like, Pesach. I was there Hanukkah, I was there Pesach. I was like, I'm going to outlast you. I'll throw you out before you throw me out. But Al Caponeum, it was a really, really, really great experience. I really enjoyed it. And at a certain point, I was like, up or down. He was like, sorry, this is your class. I found a replacement for myself, and I was sitting at a l'chaim.
Engagement party.
And I asked, I made a general announcement at the l'chaim. I was like, if anybody knows anybody looking to hire somebody, I'm looking for a job.
How old are you?
So this is after, I finished shlichus, and I finished smicha probably I was about 22.
Around my school.
I did 23, I was teaching, 24 I was teaching, so 23, 24 I was teaching. 25 also, like a little bit of 25. 26, 27, I worked for the jewelry business.
You were married?
I wasn't married.
26, 27, you weren't married?
No, I wasn't married. It's interesting. I had a very good group of friends. I don't know what parts you want to keep in, what parts you want to
keep it
edit.
going.
All in.
Everything's in.
Had a very, first off, I had a very good group of friends, still my friends today, so have a very good group of friends. Some of them, I'm from the older part of the class, like I would say the third, if you divide it into thirds, I would say I'm on the top third. The bottom third wasn't getting married all that quickly, and they were about a year younger than I was. So, I mean, they weren't getting married. We were all hanging out together. We had shiurim. They were really, 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 really good group of friends. They had, it's the Beis Shneir group today. So, we had, it would change, it would be different days, but we had look at the Sikha shir, we had a Gemara shir, we had...
You were having a great time. You were no rush to go nowhere.
And it was, I would say, to a degree, Al Taras HaKodesh.
This is the Lubavitch Yeshiva Minyan?
Yes.
Oh, great.
So, I mean, like, yeah, it's a very good group of guys. And we hung out together and the night times, and we would have different shiurim and just good get-togethers in general. So
Travel together?
we traveled together as well. Nothing, no crazy traveling. I think our years of traveling were done more before, before the smicha program, etc. Guys were traveling a little bit more. Here, guys were more settled down. Guys were getting jobs. So, I mean, I didn't feel the rush and the urge to go. Some people have this urge and this rush to immediately go, and they have to go get married and start a family. I was like, if it's not going to happen today, it's going to happen tomorrow. At the end of the day, we all, Baruch Hashem, at least most of us, by the grace of God, we all end up married. We all end up with children. If I'm not going to be dealing with that challenge today, I'll be dealing with the challenge tomorrow or the day after. So, I wasn't in any particular rush to get married. After I did the teaching job, one of the offers that was offered to me at the time was going to work for Delmar, the Gnevish family. They had an office, 580 Fifth Avenue on the 7th floor, BYO. And I went to interview there. They gave me the job. Very, very grateful. It was a great place to work. I worked with Mendy Lieberman, really, really, really talented, great guy. And I worked there for a couple of years. And every time I was given another task. And from those tasks that I was given, I was able to learn the inside, the ins and the outs of the jewelry business. I feel really, really, really well. So let's say, for example, in the beginning, I was doing, I was part of logistics. Okay, so I feel like I figured out the logistical end of things quite well. The orders coming in from different places, putting the diamonds together with the gold, the setting, etc. At some point, they told me that they would like this massive parcel of diamonds to be graded. And they're like, Levi, you're in charge. I was like, I don't know how to grade diamonds. I know nothing about diamonds. So I hired...
So grading is you do it independently, or you get isn't there a
GIA. So these stones were all GIA certified.
Okay.
The question is, even within GIA certifications, let's say they're all going to be SI1s. It might be French to you, but SI1s are diamonds that have imperfections that you can see with the 10-time magnification. You might not see it without the 10-time.
Commonly known as the loop.
The loop. So you can see the imperfection with, on the GIA's level, you can see the imperfection with a 10-time magnification, but to the naked eye, you won't see it unless it's a black imperfection smack in the middle. White and black imperfections based off of the GIA, they'll both get the same grading. One of them is going to be more visible. It's like writing, making a black dot on a white piece of paper. You'll see the black dot a lot quicker than you will a white dot. But at the end of the day, they're judging the imperfection itself, how imperfected the diamond is. So
a dot is a dot.
A dot is a dot. So these were all GIA certified stones, but what makes it more expensive or less expensive is if it's going to be a black dot in the center, if it's going to be a white dot, if it's going to be off to the side, if you can prong it. When you set the diamond, you have the 4 sticks that are holding the diamond in, or sometimes 6 sticks that are holding the diamond in. So a lot of the times you could hide the imperfection underneath the prong.
A lot of drama this summer. My wife had her diamond put into a new setting. And the big conversation that went on for weeks was 4 prongs versus 6 prongs. It was like the biggest decision.
Baruch Hashem, that should be your biggest problems in life. If that's your problems, I guess you're doing okay. So Al Kapanim, they said, grade these stones. Let us know, what the prices are. So I hired someone to grade the diamonds. Now, in my head, and I think it ended up being a very good thing. In my head, as a manager of the office, I felt like it was my responsibility to make sure that the person that was hired needs to be doing his job. I don't want to go as far as saying I thought that the business was mine. I knew obviously clearly it wasn't, and I know it clearly isn't. But I was working for somebody, and I was like the guy hired me to hire somebody to grade the diamonds. Obviously, I need to make sure that this guy's grading the diamonds well, or it's going to reflect on me. So I told the guy, every single day, I need you to walk over to me with 4 or 5 diamonds and show me why you graded it that way. What makes how does a diamond tick? What makes the diamond tick? And every day would walk over with 3 or 4 diamonds and explain to me why this grading was a better grading.
What nationality was he? I'm curious.
He was a Chassidish Ephraimite.
Are a lot of Indians in the diamond?
Now, at that time, when I started, they were starting to break in more and more, but it was still, this is before 2008, so it was still considered a very, very, very Jewish, religious, Chassidish business. Very Heimish. So it was a Heimische guy, it was a Chassidish guy that was teaching, that was doing the grading, and I would then go over to him every day, and it just turned into like a normal thing. I didn't have to walk over to him. He would walk over to me every day, and he would show me 2, 3, 4 diamonds, why the grading is that specific SI1, SI2, VS2. Is it a good SI2? Is it a bad SI2? Should we be giving an additional discount on that particular stone? If the grading, if it's 2 SI1s will not get the same price. The MSRP will be the same price. But at the end of the day, wouldn't you prefer a white SI versus a black SI? Of course you're gonna want a white SI. The white SI is the one that you can't see. SI is the slightly included. It's an imperfection in the diamond.
So in the company, you learned every job because you were there and you wanted to make sure everyone did a great job. So you actually learned it by mistake.
And
almost.
I felt like it was my responsibility to do that. So say
Was
for
it ever
example,
because you wanted to eventually open your
no,
own?
I never had in mind to go into business on my own. Never.
It was just responsible
I
then.
viewed this, I was like, in my head, I was always in my head. People tell me otherwise. I was always a very shy person. I didn't feel like I can do sales. I didn't feel like I could talk to people. I didn't feel like I can actually do sales.
Could have fooled me. Could have fooled me.
I'm sitting behind the cubicle. I'm doing what I got to be doing. I'm not interacting with other people all that much. That's my comfort zone in my mind. Obviously, as a teacher, I'm teaching children, and I'm talking to the parents. I would always follow up with the parents every day. I had a rule that I would call 3 parents
Every day?
every single night.
Troublemakers or any random?
No, randomly I would call up. Yeah, but everybody wants to hear about their troublemaking kids. I would call. By the way, your son did really well today on the test. We had a quiz. It was really, really great. Parents don't only want to be called up, and I see this now as a parent. Then I wasn't a parent. I see this now. Like if a teacher's going to call me up and tell me, like, you know, your son, your daughter had a pop quiz today and they did really, really well, you know, like, let them know that they're really doing that well. I think it's really great. So I would in my head, I thought that it's a really nice thing.
I feel
Obviously,
like the world of chinuch lost a great educator.
I don't know if I was a great educator. I really enjoyed it.
I don't think any of the teachers are calling to be parents tonight.
It was 3 parents. I had 28 kids in the class. And I called every night. I would make it my business. Remember, I was single, right? I had time. Time is one thing I had. So I would call up. I would make it my business to call up 3 parents every night.
See the Schiff families, if the kid's doing well in secular studies, they get nervous, no?
You know what was interesting? Like when they would make trouble, and I would call up the parent. Let's say, like, I'm an Oleternik, so I don't know by them what's considered a big knas or a small knas. I would call up and I would say, listen. 3 strikes, you're out. Today's prize, if you interrupt me 3 times, today's prize is Perek Aleph Pirkei Avos. You're going to write Perek Aleph Pirkei Avos. So 3 strikes, beginning of the year, for sure, they're looking to test you. 5 of those kids are getting those things before you can say boo. So I would say, okay, you won. You got Perek Aleph Pirkei Avos.
Right,
You earned
right
it. You got your
assignment.
3 strikes, you earned it. And that night, I would call up the parent and I would say, "Hey, look, your son interrupted me 3 times. He got 3 strikes, and he has to write for me Perek Aleph Pirkei Avos." Now, in Oleternik, that was a random Tuesday. You wrote Perek Aleph Pirkei Avos and Sei Gesund. I wasn't a very big troublemaker, and I probably wrote it a couple of times. But for these guys, I guess writing isn't one of the major skills that they're obtaining. So I would call up and I would say, hooray, your son won Perek Aleph Pirkei Avos. Teacher Laine, are you joking? Perek Aleph Pirkei Avos.
Teacher Laine, that's the
Teacher
code?
Laine, Teacher Laine, Perek Aleph Pirkei Avos. Are you joking me? How's my son supposed to write that? And in my head, I'm like, what do you mean, how? Sit down and start writing. Hey, bon schreiben, nimm sich zu Arbeit. They can't write that amount. I'm thinking, they're trying to negotiate with me. I'm like, of course he's going to write it before he comes back into my class. He's going to finish Perek Aleph Pirkei Avos. So he's never written that amount. Like there's no way this guy's writing Perek Aleph Pirkei Avos. So I would tell them, like, you know what? Fine. If you tell your child that he has to write 3 mishnahs for me, the first 3 mishnahs, and he still owes me the rest of it. He owes me all the rest of it. But he's on a trial period. This guy interrupts me again. He's going to have to write everything that he owes me, and then some. Teacher Laine, my son will never interrupt again. Never interrupt again. Now, the way I would sell the English was really, really, really simple. Hi, you're in business, right? How difficult is it for you to write a check today? How difficult is it for you to go through and read a contract? Don't you want your son's life to be that much easier? I'm not teaching high-level English. I'm teaching addition, subtraction, multiplication. We had the government tests those years. So, like, I'm bringing them up to par, and they're going to know 6th grade level English. And I went to this teacher's store, and I bought all of the books to help me teach those levels to, like, when I took over the class, like, these, most of the kids couldn't do addition, like 3-digit addition and carrying.
Then
they couldn't
obviously
do any
now
of
it's
that
much
stuff.
better.
They couldn't, a lot of them couldn't. Some of them could. Some of the parents were very into it. And most of the parents were not. So they couldn't do the carrying. They couldn't do simple addition and subtraction.
Today with Google, you know.
Yeah, sure, kayak. But what about general history as well? I was like, look, these are things that you want your kids to know. And it's only going to be a plus if your kids know these things. Every parent, and remember I spoke to all of them multiple times throughout the year, every parent was like, I'm totally on board. So I had every single parent's backing and support, and they all helped me out as well. They were very, very, very helpful. The kids were like, my father doesn't care nothing if I don't know no English. You're the shy kids. But at the end of the day, I spoke to every parent, and I did this for a few years. Every parent had my back. Every parent gave me the support that I needed in order to be able to help educate their kids.
Back to the
when it
company.
came down to history as well.
Back to the company.
Oh,
you did every job, yeah.
So I learned how to grade. He would show me how to grade. I learned the original job that I was hired for was the logistics. Eventually, they were like, we're paying all these different setters here in New York and abroad, and the casters, etc. Who's keeping the books here? Now, we did have an accountant that worked in there, but I guess he was doing the accounting for a different business. So they were like, how is the accounting being kept? So I was like, I guess the accountant is doing the accounting. They were like, but we would like you to keep your part of the business, the part that you're running. We want that accounting to be done separately. So again, with Mendy Lieberman's help, he's a brilliant guy when it comes down to on multiple levels. But when it comes
I'm
down
not such
to
a big
computers,
Yenta. I know a lot of Lieberman. Which Lieberman is this? Eastern Parkway?
Kingston Parkway.
One of the 17 children, can I know?
One of them.
Okay.
Very, very, very great guy. So there's one of them my age, Levi, and there's one of them slightly older than me, Mendy. Levi is the one that at that L'chaim said, hey, my brother's looking for somebody. So Levi's the one that introduced me to Mendy, and Mendy's the one that hired me, I guess with the okay from the Gnavishes. So I was very into the, so he taught, like, go figure out how to do accounting.
Does that name affect them in the business? Gnavish sounds like. Are you a little Gnavish?
I hear what you're saying. That they're actually
in the jewelry industry with the whole scandal with Trax now. He says they're all a bunch of ganavim, a little Gnavish. But they're very honest. They're very honest, Gnavish.
Look, in my head, people always ask.
They don't live up to their name.
I'm going to give a general statement. My general statement is, if you're a community jeweler, which they are in Montreal, they have also a showroom there. If you're a community jeweler, people always ask me about jewelers in our neighborhood. What do you say about this jeweler? If he's in business, and he's in business already for a while, and people are still shopping there, he's obviously an honest guy. It's obviously an honest guy. If he wasn't an honest guy, people wouldn't be going to him anymore.
That's what they say about Madoff. He's in business 40 years. He's very good.
I hear what you're saying, but with jewelry, igiluya milsa, that at the end of the day, the piece of jewelry is or isn't good. You got what you paid for or you didn't. Or your customer service was good or wasn't good. At the end of the day...
One mistake, everyone and their cousins or uncles all knows.
What do you say about your competition? Well, what do I say about my competition? I think that, again, if they're in business, for the amount of time that they're in business, Obviously, they have a following. Obviously, they have people that like them. Obviously, they have people that are happy with their customer service, etc. So, like, Tavi Aleim, Bracha V'Shalom, they'll continue shopping there. And you'll continue doing your thing. You'll do as best as you can to get your following and the people that are your cup of tea. Not everybody's going to be everybody's cup of tea. And not everybody's going to sell the items that you're looking to sell. Say, for example, I like to sell all of my stones, or all the stones that are above 30 pointers in general are all GIA certified stones. Are you paying a little bit of a premium?
Because I'm such an arts in jewelry. 30 pointers, a carat. I know what a carat is.
So a carat is, let's look at it as a dollar. A dollar has 100 pennies.
Carat's 100?
So a carat's 100.
A little over a quarter.
A 50 pointer is going to be 50 cents. Half a carat. 25 pointer.
Quarter.
Same thing.
30 is pretty big, I'm saying.
So usually 30, 35s, they'll already have, like in the early years, not so much. The larger the stone was, it was more worth it to have it certified. Today, you can get certified stones that are 30, 35 pointers. You'll find GIA certifications already on those things. My comfort zone is selling the larger stone. The smaller stones are not GIA certified.
Smaller ones are called chips.
So it's not chips.
Mellies.
They're melly, very good. They're full cuts. So if there's full cut and there's single cuts. So a full cut would mean you have your wife, let's say, assuming she has a round diamond in the center, it's going to have 57 or 58 facets. That's how many cuts it's going to have. Those tiny little diamonds, if it's a full cut stone, is going to have the same amount of facets. You look at it under a microscope or under the loop, and it will have the same amount of facets.
I want to say, Levi, they say a best customer is an educated customer. So the fact that you love teaching, I think, has never stopped and played into your success, if I may say. Could you teach your customers?
Maybe, very possibly so.
I
say a transaction with Levi in his store is minimum an hour. I'm just.
I'll tell you.
For the good and for the bad.
Only for the good.
Maybe I like to hear myself speak. I don't know.
I spent many tens of thousands of dollars in jewelry in the last 15 years, and I don't know any of these things.
So I do like getting into the technicalities of the jewelry. I really do enjoy it very, very much. I manufacture a lot of my jewelry. Another thing that I learned there at the Gnevish is they were manufacturing. Like I said, at some point they wanted going back. I guess I'm jumping all over the place.
That's fine.
I guess
it's fine.
We have
it's
a
fine.
very good editor.
It's fine. No editing.
The
Clappy said in the summer you have crowds for 4 hours listening to you straight. So this is a walk in the park, Levi.
Thank you very much. I think he's being nice.
The exact story is Nussi Sternberg had me in inner circle to Shavuos, and the entire Shavuos night, not one word of Tikkumel Shavuos. We sat around Levi Laine, we fabrang the entire night, and he had a very large crowd.
Not one word of Tikkumel Shavuos. Now think about how my kids still have to get into other yeshivas. What are you doing to me here? By the way, Levi Laine doesn't say any tikkun.
Hold on, he showed up. He showed up. Okay?
There's no tikkun. That you get schar halicha at least. At least you showed up to show. What he was doing is a different story, but at least he showed up. Okay, that might have a value.
You're good.
Exactly. Might have a value. Okay, Baruch Hashem. So Al Kopanim, they wanted me to do my own accounting, so I learned how. I went to courses at night after hours. I went to learn how to use QuickBooks, and I had my own QuickBooks running. Obviously, again, with the help of Mandy Lieberman, I was doing the QuickBooks. And then at some point, the guy finished, I would say 3 months later, he finished grading all the stones. He comes over to us and he tells us there's a lot of stones here that can be upgraded. So they were already GIA certified stones. For those that don't know what a GIA stone is, stones, if I'm telling you, oh, you have a G color stone, it starts from D, E, F, G, all the way down to Z, and then it gets yellower and yellower, or browner and browner, or grayer and grayer as it goes down the scale, but generally yellower. When you have a GIA certified stone, the jeweler isn't the one that's telling you, oh, this is a G color. So if you're starting from D, D, E, F would be colorless. F, G, H, I on the GIA's scale, J would be considered near colorless. So you don't have a jeweler coming to you and telling you, oh, this stone is a very white stone. This stone is a very clean stone. The GIA is telling you that. They're an independent grading company.
It's like a hechsher.
It's a very good. It's a hechsher.
You just turn off the volume. You can turn it off. It's fine.
The hechsher. Speaking of hechsher, you have a hechsher on your phone, Levi, or no?
Do I have a hechsher on my phone?
No comment.
Hechsher, no comment. So I'll call upon him. The GIA is considered
Third-party cert.
they're a third party that's grading it, and they're considered the best grading system in the world. So you have Culmine, you have different grading companies, and they're considered the gold standard.
No
of
pun
diamond
intended.
grading,
No pun
of-
intended.
Exactly, of diamond grading. So to me, the easiest thing to do is, if we're not dealing with Melly, I'll discuss Melly in a minute. If you're not dealing with Melly, the easiest thing for me to do, and that's what I do, is sell GIA certified stones. Levi Laine didn't say that it's a G. I didn't say it's an H. I didn't say it's an SI1 or an SI2. The GIA, the gold standard of the world, says this is a G, this is an H, this is an SI1, this is an SI2. What I do is I sit down with people with the magnifying glass and I show them what an imperfection looks like. This is what a black SI1 looks like. This is what a white SI1 looks like. Teach them how to use the loop. It's not very difficult. And now here's the diamonds that I brought in for you to look at. Pick which diamond speaks to you, which imperfection you like the best. In my head, the diamond will have an imperfection, but only under, if you can't see it with your eye, for all intents and purposes, it's a great stone.
Would you say that's a life lesson? Everything's imperfect.
Only the Eibishter is perfect. So at the end
So
of the day,
you
like,
just have to-
there are those that say, I want the stone to be a flawless diamond. The girl that I'm marrying is flawless. I want a flawless diamond. You start telling them the difference in the price between non-visible imperfection and a flawless diamond. You know what? If you can't see it, it's okay. It's all good. Yeah, we're good.
No, people trade just on paperwork, right? In the jewelry
So
business? 'Cause I've seen guys in the streets hustling just paperwork, saying, "Oh, look what I have."
So when it comes down to diamonds, flawless diamonds, flawless diamonds, I feel like there are people that buy them. I feel like they're more of an investment sort of diamond. In my head, again, to each their own. In my head, it's more of an investment type of thing. Like you're getting the perfect certification, you're getting the perfect color, you're getting the perfect clarity, perfect cut.
Can we talk numbers? 1 carat. What's the most common size thing for a chassan kala?
A chassan kala
1 carat?
wants, everybody wants in or around 1 carat. Yes.
A 1 carat, 57 facet is the most common thing.
The round brilliant is the most
A
common
1 carat
stone.
traditional round stone, if it was really, really perfect, zero imperfections with a magnifying glass or under a loop or whatever, how much would that cost in 2026?
In 2026, we can take a look at the.
Around. You don't have to take out a calculator.
Let's say 25 grand, but we can take out, I don't have to take out. I don't have to take out a. What
The
do
wrap
you have?
sheet?
You have the wrap sheets. I have the wrap on my phone. We can take a look what these things cost. So if I go to the calculator, for example, you go to the wrap. It's spinning. I guess the internet here is. We're gonna have to do dun 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 dun.
So you check the wrap sheet, and that's the price, right?
1
Levi?
carat. No, so I'll explain that in a
Okay.
second. So no, I'm wrong. The wrap sheet is down. So you're going to have to edit that part out. Today,
That's fine.
a perfect 1 carat stone, round flawless, is going to be at a minus 35.
But I heard
Hold on.
today the gold price is more important than the wrap sheet. Is that true, Levi?
So the full price of a D flawless round diamond 1 carat would be $16,000.
$16,000.
$16,000.
And something tells me that most kalas are not getting. That's before you do a setting.
That's a 1 carat stone. That's before the setting. So no. In our
Average?
neighborhood, as you well know, most of the time, Rubam Kikulam, most of the time, the parents are the ones that are buying the diamond. This is coming right after Baruch Hashem putting the kid through yeshiva for a lot of years, and this is coming, and
Summer camp.
the summer camp, and all of the other wonderful stuff, v'chol advarim, that are all connected to all those things, and now they're the ones that are also paying for the chasana, because Baruch Hashem, the guy went through the system, and he probably doesn't have a job yet, and just finished 770
Average
or whatever.
spend? Average spend?
So the average, so the parents are usually going to be the ones that are buying the diamond, right? And like I said before, most of them are trying to get a stone that's in or around that carat range. I'll discuss the ups and the downs of that. If they're looking to try to get in the 1 carat range, a 1 carat today is going to be about $3,300. Again, if you're comparing it, it's all about the apples to apples, etc. What do you mean? I saw a 1 carat diamond that was $1,500. You'll see those, and I just told you that you could also get a 1 carat that's $16,000. So it's going to depend on its grading. I usually like to sell the GHs. I need a very good Beinoni, a good GH, a good SI1, good SI2, where you don't see any of the imperfections. And you have a very hard time finding it also under the 10-time magnification.
So 3,000.
3,300.
That's before the setting.
That's before the setting. Today, gold is through the roof, which is probably another thing that you're probably going to ask me about. So you could be looking at another $1,000 for the setting. So you're about
Levi,
4,000.
let me ask you a sour question. The Chas and Kala fall on hard times within 6 months. I have to pay the rent. What could they expect to get back from the jeweler after spending $4,000?
Okay, so
I hate to ask this question.
Surprisingly, so I get this question
Before
very
you
often.
answer that question, probably the last thing the Chas and Kala are ever going to sell, or hock, we call it hocking when you pawn jewelry, is the wedding ring. They're going to probably do all the Kala necklace.
I just want to put things.
It's probably a Kala necklace.
It's a very fair question. It's a very good question. Because
50%?
Jewelry, no. You're going to get a lot more than that. Jewelry is always...
Not trade in cash.
So jewelry, a lot of times people would think, at least there was in my head, based off of my experience, there was a very long period of time where people were like, okay, jewelry is an investment. So I'm probably going to get back more money than I spent. So it really depends on what you're investing in.
Depends
if
on
it's
the
plain
gold
gold
prices.
jewelry and you bought it in the 80s, with today's gold prices being around $5,000 or so, and at the time the prices were, let's say, $380, so yeah, you did really, 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 really well. In terms of regular jewelry, when you're buying a piece of jewelry, forget about a plain diamond. When you're buying a regular piece of jewelry, you have to realize that there's labor involved. Yeah, let's say you're going to buy a flower ring that's going to have a whole bunch of little diamonds. Somebody sat there and set those 200 tiny little diamonds. And it could be $3 to $5, $7 per stone to set.
Labor.
So there's labor.
Skill.
You're not getting back your labor. There is going to be all those tiny little stones. Someone sat there with all those little diamonds and matched them all, that they should all be, let's say, G's and H's. You can have
There's a lot of
really great
labor
diamonds.
based in the price.
So there's
As
going
with
to
the painting, you could buy a painting, spend $1,000 in the frame, you bring it back to my gallery, we will give you $0. I'm just saying it on record. Continue.
So with
Custom frame,
with
worthless.
a diamond, though, with a diamond, if you're buying a GIA certified stone and it's a 1 carat, it's kind of like the bread and butter item. Everybody's trying to sell the 1 carat diamond, and everybody's trying to get in or around 1 carat. So you're going to tell me that there's one grocery store that's selling a gallon of milk?
$3,000. So liquid price $1,800.
No,
$2,000.
you're going to get more than that.
Over 2. Oh, not
gonna
bad.
get over 2.
So 60, 70 cents on the dollar.
You're probably going to end up with, in certain cases, you'll probably end up with 80, 85 cents to the
Wow,
dollar.
not bad at all.
a
Saying
major,
it's a run of the
remember,
mill.
I want to be competitive.
Right.
Let's say I'm going to charge up 10, 15%. I'm allowed to. I got to make a living too.
I think so.
I got an overhead
Yeah,
as well, right?
yeah.
So I don't think I don't have to justify the fact that I'm trying to mark a stone up. But at the end of the day, a round diamond is the most common stone as well. 80% of people that are walking into a jewelry store are buying the round brilliant, which is the name of the cut.
Levi, how'd you get from working in the company to open your own business?
So, Ledavinenu, 2008 happened. In 2008, there was that wonderful little crash that happened, and Delmar made a decision that they were on Fifth Avenue. They employed a decent amount of people in the Fifth Avenue office, and they made a decision that they're moving all of their operations to Montreal. They were already headquartered in Montreal. So they were moving all the parts of the business that I was dealing with myself, Mandy Lieberman, etc. They're moving all of those operations to Montreal.
You had the option to move to Montreal? Was that wasn't an option?
I wasn't given the option, and I wouldn't have taken the option. So looking at it, like, could I have made the phone call possibly and said, hey, you're moving the operations to Montreal. Could I join you there? I never made that call. I was I learned in Montreal for yeshiva. I learned in yeshiva in Montreal for a year, and to me that was again, Baruch Hashem. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Morty Wenger. Yes.
Hey, my wife.
Very good.
Ricky Wenger. told me she's not moving back to Montreal.
So I learned in yeshiva there for a year. I got sent on shlichus there. Morty Wanger sent me on shlichus from Montreal out of Baruch Hashem. Nothing negative to say about Montreal except for the fact that it's freezing there.
Where'd you go on shlichus?
I went to New Haven. I got sent to New Haven.
Oh, yeah, McCallum's an Overshown. Great man.
Yeah, very great. Really, really, really good times. Really, really fantastic guy.
So they closed and then?
So they closed up shop there, and I had gotten married 3 weeks before they told me sei gesund.
Wow.
3 weeks before. I saw it coming, meaning when I was dating my wife, I already told her while we were dating that it's very possible that, yes, you're marrying somebody that has, I'm not going to say a 9 to 5, it was a 9 to 6. You're marrying somebody that has a 9 to 6 job. But at the end of the day, just based off where the economy is going, it's very possible that that job's not going to be there all that long.
How old were you when you got married?
27.
Oh, 27?
27. Yeah, I was like, it's very possible that this job's not going to be there.
And she didn't run away? Your wife didn't run away?
No, she didn't run away. I guess I said it with enough confidence. Maybe yeah, maybe not. That she was like, he probably has it figured out. I don't know. Maybe, he's working already for the last couple of years. Maybe he has a little stash. I don't know. I don't know what she was thinking. But Al Kapanim, I was working there for 3 weeks, and they were like, okay, we're downsizing the office here. They closed it, but it took a little bit of time until they closed it up entirely. And I was...
Pink slipped.
I was pink slipped. I was out on the street. At that time, I paid into all the FICAs and all that other stuff. I had unemployment, so I was on unemployment.
$400 a week.
It wasn't $400 a week. And then apartments also weren't that crazy. I was paying $1,100 for my one bedroom, and it was a very decent one bedroom. I was on unemployment for a little while.
So it's a nice honeymoon. You have to work.
It's very nice to say that it's a nice little honeymoon. In your head at the time, you're busy saying to yourself, I don't have a job. I've been working for the last couple of years. I just got married. There's expenses that are there that you didn't have before. The expenses are only Amir Hashem going to grow, Baruch Hashem. And I don't have a job. So, yeah, great, I'm getting unemployment. And unemployment is usually, then it lasted for 99 weeks. They kept on extending it. But you don't know that it's going to get extended.
99 weeks.
They extended it for 99 weeks. But generally, it's 6 months.
Oh, because of the
economy. It was the 2008. Yes.
They get extended.
They kept on extending it and extending it and extending it. And you need to go out there and show that you're looking for a job and who's hiring. And at the end of the day, you just got married. You don't want to look like a loser. So you're like, yeah, I haven't figured out. I'm going for another interview. And, what were you going to stay in bed till 11 o'clock? I'm married for 3 weeks. You're sleeping until 11, 12 o'clock because you don't have a job. And your wife's like, You're just going to lie around here. That's what I married. I married late again. I married somebody with a normal job. And, and now all of a sudden what? Gay schluffen. Because what? Because you're getting unemployment. So also, no one knew how long the effects of the crash was going to last for. So, yeah, I was out there looking for a job, constantly looking for a job, any job. And again, I have a pretty decent background now, and I have a pretty good resume. I know how to use QuickBooks. I know how to do the logistics. If it's in the diamond world, I know how to grade diamonds. Remember that, after they graded the diamonds, there was the guy said that there's a number of diamonds that have upgrades. So the upgrades means that you're recutting the diamond. A lot of times, if the imperfection is all the way on the tip of the stone, you could have it recut.
You can refurb.
Huh?
You can refurb it. Refurbish it.
So it's
and once you recut it, you got to get GIA again, no?
You got to go get it re-GIA'd, correct. And also, you got to be a little careful when you're recutting a stone. If you have a stone that's exactly 2 carats or 201, as it hits the 2 carat mark, it becomes more chashiv. The price jumps. A 2 carat stone could be a $15,000 to $18,000.
Doesn't exactly double.
Apples to apples again. Let's say H or GH SI1. It could be suddenly a $15,000, $18,000 stone.
So it doesn't go by square footage.
If you're cutting it and now it's no longer a 2 carat stone, you just cut it, then it's a 190. You're falling under the 1.5.
But a 190 perfect versus a 2.1 that's terrible.
So then the question is how much of a better grading you're going to get. You have to calculate all those things.
You have to ask it
Yeah, exactly. So if you're getting, let's say, a VVS now because you got rid of very, very slightly included, so it's a lot better, a couple of steps up. you're going to get a much better stone. In addition, if you're getting some of the times you could open the stone up when you're cutting it, you'll get a better color on the stone. So depending on if you feel like you're going to get a better color and a better clarity, a lot of the times it's worth it to cut the stone. Or sometimes you have a 208. And they tell you you're only going to lose 5 points by recutting it. It's still going to remain over the 2 carat. Yeah, so as long as you're over the 2 carat, you're not losing that chivas.
So you're sitting in bed all day.
So I would.
How long did you sit in bed all day? For how? What was it?
I didn't sit in bed.
Oh, you're not in one day.
I didn't want to be the guy to say.
I didn't want to. I was like, again, I was
married.
You were
I
primed.
just got married 5 minutes ago. I don't want to be the guy lying around in bed. I'm sure I did it for a couple of days, but like any other person, I'm a human being. I'm sure I was a little depressed also, and enjoying the fact that I don't have to go run to work first thing in the morning, go catch a train. So like I'm sure I took a little bit of time off, but in general, I was looking to get a job as quickly as I can, and I was looking out there trying to get hired, and obviously there aren't any opportunities. No one's looking to hire. So in the interim, you gotta do something. So people were bringing me pieces of jewelry to repair. I had very good repair people in the city. I would take the pieces of jewelry, I would take it to my repair guys and have it repaired. There's a reason for me to get on the train, go to the city, repair the piece of jewelry.
Just from word of mouth.
All the contacts.
Just from word of mouth.
So from word of mouth, yes.
No
Word of
advertising.
mouth, no advertising. People would bring me pieces of jewelry to repair. People would tell me, I'm getting engaged. Could you bring, my daughter's getting engaged. My son's getting engaged. Could you bring in pieces of jewelry to show? So,
And at the time, there were other retailers in Crown Heights, right?
So,
Or just in basements?
There were always retail. My parents
There was
married
always
55
retailers
years.
in
They've been
Crown
buying
Heights.
jewelry.
In basements.
It's always, whatever. But there's people in Crown Heights that sell jewelry.
Yeah, people sell
No
jewelry.
retail.
So I would bring in a bunch of pieces of jewelry. Let's say the person would say to me, so I didn't have to carry a whole inventory at the time. Let's say the person would say to me, my budget's $3,000. Just giving that as an
Sorry
example.
to interrupt. You already had connections in 47th Street.
Remember, I worked there for a few years.
You worked there for one particular guy. You could go in and grab stuff on consignment?
No, not so push-it. So I worked for the Gnavishes. The Gnavishes are the ones with the credit, not Levi Laine. So Levi Laine is not the one with the credit. Yes, I've been, let's say, picking up pieces, diamonds, and items for the Gnavishes, but at the end of the day, it's on their credit, and Baruch Hashem, they have very good credit. Now, Levi Laine Yuchel is walking in and saying, yeah, I would like to pick up 10 pieces and show it to my clients. And who are you? Are the Gnavishes underwriting this? And the answer is, no, they're not. So I needed to establish my own credit. And
So for the listeners, in the Diamond District, there's not official line of credit, just from trust and knowing there's people extend
you can
credits,
pick up
right?
pieces of jewelry based off of
Reputation.
your reputation or people signing off that they'll either take responsibility for you or that you're a good person. Right. So yes.
So what was your mahalach? How did it work with you?
I got really, really, really lucky. The Eibishter was very, very nice to me. I tried to pick up pieces of jewelry and diamonds. And the answer was absolutely not. And these were people that I was seeing for years. And they were all like, who are your references? And how long have you been doing business with them? So I did open up, I did have a business I did have a company. I opened up a company that was in it and so on. It's a very interesting story. So I did have already a company that I had opened up with my brother. And I was using that company name, which is still around today. It's my manufacturing company, Links of New York. I had a manufacturing company, and I would go to the dealers and I would say, okay, Links of New York would like to pick up these diamonds or these pieces of jewelry. What's Links of New York's credibility? Well, who are your references? And I didn't have any. And I went around to different diamond dealers trying, guys that I knew. And I was like, what do you mean? I've been coming here for years. You know me. I wasn't a runner. I wouldn't be picking up the jewelry from the diamond dealers. But every once in a while, again, in my head, the business was mine. If a diamond needed to get picked up and the runner was out and he wasn't picking it up and we needed to ship that package. Remember, I was also a logistics, so I was also on top of the shipping, and I wanted the shipping, the packages. And it's not a malacha malka. I wanted the package put into to the box at a certain time. We're still able to deliver it to FedEx before their cutoff time and all of that. So I need to get that package there right away. We need to get that diamond set immediately. Things got to move. So if the runner was out, busy picking up other things, I would go down to the diamond
They
dealer
knew
and
you.
pick it up myself. What was haste? Nothing. There wasn't a job that was leila fi chvaydi. I was ready to do anything. If the diamond needs to be picked up, I'm ready to pick up the diamond. So I would go very often to these diamond dealers, to these really great diamond dealers that I still, Baruch Hashem, do business with, Adei Mazeh, and I would pick up the diamond. So I was like, one second. You've been seeing me for the last couple of years. You know who I am, but what do you think is going to happen? I'm like, look, you were picking it up under the Gnevish's account. So
It was
fine and
it
good.
must have been a real humbling experience.
It was a very
All of a
humbling
sudden, they
experience.
pretend they don't know you.
They're not them pretending me, Levi. We love you. You want to have a piece of cake? Very good. You want a coffee? Very nice. You want to sit and schmooze? All very good. Remember, come look at it from their perspective. Like, yeah, you were working under the Gnevish. I have no faribah with
So
any
you
of
didn't
these
build
people.
your
Like
own
I said,
brand. You didn't build your own brand.
I am totally. I still deal with all of these people, and I have very good relationships with all these people. Look at it from their perspective, and you got to remember, people have also asked me.
Hold a thought. We have very important corporate sponsors that keep all the fun happening over here. We have with us, I think they're related to you, the Raskin family.
Yes.
The Raskins, which were Lanes, were Raskins.
These Raskins were originally Lanes. Berke Raskin's dad was a Lane.
Sicilian herring. Scandinavian matches herring. Jalapeno Holland herring. They have over 32 flavors.
Wow, and the special crackers.
Holy... You taught English. How do you read this?
You asking me now?
What is it? Oh, honey natural, right? Honey natural herring?
Yes.
Red pepper herring with a spicy cream herring sauce.
I charge.
And we have pickled
charge
lox.
to teach.
Pickled lox and cream sauce. Which one do we want to taste today?
That's up to you.
Which one are we
We'll do a
gonna
little
taste?
later.
You're the
We're
herringist.
gonna do the tasting soon?
Yeah, a little later.
I've watched you do the tastings. It looks like you're pretty familiar with.
And they have a
with the
custom
flavors.
kichel. Nobody else in the world makes a herring kichel. So we have the ultimate original flavor. And we have the everything herring kichel.
Yumma dum dum dum.
We're going to get to a
Yumma dum
tasting
dum.
Levi,
soon.
you a herring guy?
Not a major herring guy. Not a major herring guy. You have to like.
Raskin's herring is sold where all fine kosher food is sold. And if they don't have it in your grocery store, you go to the manager and say, if you want to be a fine kosher grocer, get Raskin's herring.
I guess it's you have to check the yichus. If you're a proper Russian, if you don't like herring, I don't dislike it. Personally, I like all those. They have the salmons that are pickled like herring.
Oh, God.
No, they have that.
Yeah,
Raskin's
of course
have
they
it.
do.
Of course they have
I buy
that.
it all the time. I
Of
love
course,
that.
of course.
So I like that very, very much. A regular.
We also want to welcome a new corporate sponsor. Many people get credit cards. They say 0% APR. Oh my God, amazing. They buy up their entire house's furniture, all the faucets, everything. They go on expensive vacations.
Buy some nice jewelry by Laine.
Buy beautiful jewelry by Levi Laine. And then they start getting hit with major interest, 15, 20, 30% interest. So we have a company over here that specializes in lowering your interest rate. They
Zilch.
guarantee you, Zilch.
It's called Zilch.
It's called Zilch.
Z-I-L-T-C-H.
They try to get you down. They try to renegotiate with the banks to get it to zero. But for only $500, they guarantee you.
They're not trying. They're succeeding.
They're succeeding. Hundreds of very successful stories. All the stories are minimum. They're going to get your credit, the APR, the percentage, they're going to get it down minimum 2%. That means if you're paying thousands of dollars a month just in the interest payments mostly, they're going to guarantee to bring it down 2% for only $500.
Zilch 516-441-2418 516-441-2418.
And the website is
Zilch.com. Whoa, I had to get the name.
Zilch. That's a great name to have.
Z-I
We're going to put the link and number in the
LTCH.com.
we're going to put the info in the
comments.
In the comments.
In the subject and everything.
Another one of our amazing guests and corporate sponsors is Wheels to Lease. Wheels to Lease. I was there a few days ago. Their parking lot is loaded. New cars, used cars, leased cars. From the
And
college,
trucks.
for the seminary graduate that just got her license at 19 years old, we have beautiful.
Do they have bumper cars for those
Nissan Sentras. For the guy that's going through a midlife crisis, we have the Genesis, the Honda Pilot. The Honda Pilot is the new cool minivan for the mamas and the soccer moms. Comfortable Pilots. The prices are down on the Pilots. Saul tells me today that the Pilot has a crazy deal going on now. It comes in 7 and 8 passenger, fully loaded. From when you call until it's in your driveway, could be as little as 4 hours with getting your credit. If you have
Well,
issues,
Levi said before, if a company's been around that long, almost 40 years.
no, they've been around.
They're
40
obviously
years.
doing something
They
right.
started-
Obviously doing
Obviously,
something.
no, unless you're in one of these tourist places where you're never seeing the person again. I'm not saying that those guys are or aren't honest. I'm simply saying, like, they don't have to see the customer again. Garanti ada delet. Hello, it's work until the door. After this, we take no, how you say,
Responsibility.
garanti, no guarantee.
Call my friend Saul or ask for his top salesman, Izzy Herman. For
your midlife crisis.
By the way, a couple of nights ago, Moshe and I went to CH Butcher. We always talk about their beef jerky. I want to talk about CH Butcher.
The restaurant.
Has a drop-dead, stunning restaurant. Do not go to the city, or you don't have to go to the
Would
city.
you like to pay congestion?
The good food is in Crown Heights, where you don't get your car towed, where there's parking on Troy Avenue at night. You're going to feel like you're in Manhattan. Just close your eyes, pretend you're in Manhattan. Top waiters, maitre d's, fine dining. The food is all scrumptious. CH Butcher
Scrumptious.
on Troy Avenue. And for your fine meats, just go to their butcher on Albany Avenue. Back to what you were saying.
Now available on DVD.
And so you're
For your midlife crisis, I drive a Genesis. All right, listen. I'm 44 years old. I guess I'm having a midlife crisis. What are you going to do? It's okay.
Is it a good car?
I'm enjoying it.
If you need your
Hold on.
Genesis, you call
it's,
Saul.
hold on, it's one of his cars, Clappy. We talk about the other ones?
I'll call. We don't have
The
to.
tuition-
It's not a
the
car.
tuition-
It's
the
not a
tuition
car.
board.
Tuition board. Ching, 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 ching. Ka-ching. Oh, we heard you have a Genesis. No, that's because I'm in a midlife crisis. It's not for any other reason.
It was cheap.
Don't
It was
raise
cheap.
my tuition. It was You heard what Clappy said. It's a midlife crisis, and I'm there right now. You're going to charge someone that has a midlife crisis more money? Think about it. Think about what you could do to that person. Anyway, yes, I guess I'm in a midlife crisis right now. I'll call upon him. Where were we at? We were discussing.
So people start asking you odd jobs you're getting on the
Ah, we
train.
never got to the bottom line.
credit.
The line of
Odd job.
credit. How do you get the line of credit?
So there is a company that sells diamonds, MJ Gross. I don't know if shout outs or not shout outs.
Shout outs, whatever you say.
They're one of the sons there was really. I've had literally siyata d'shmaya and people helping me out throughout, where I literally got really lucky throughout. He was like, you want to be able to pick up diamonds? You want to be able to show diamonds? Most of the companies, remember, the companies that I was looking to deal with were companies that the Gnavishes were working with. They were large companies. They weren't regular random little brokers. They were serious diamond houses. And I didn't know anything about brokers. I knew only diamond houses. I never dealt with a broker before because the Gnavishes weren't dealing with brokers, as far as I know. So to me, I'm like, it's like you can go to brokers and you could ask the brokers to pick up stones for you, and they're going to charge a percentage. Okay, part of life, fine. Or what you want to do is you want to be able to build up a credit. So I'm like, how? Every single place is telling me if
Or
you
they
don't
say
have.
the banks only want to lend you money when you don't need it.
They always say you don't want to be borrowing from friends and family. So who are you borrowing from? Imagine you want to open up a business. You're going to walk down the street. You're going to meet some random person. You're going to be like, well, would you like to lend me $100,000? And he's going to be like, absolutely. I'm a sucker. Here's $100,000. I don't know you. And you're not supposed to be borrowing from friends and family, but let me lend it to you. Who are you borrowing it from if not for friends and family? Of course, it's going to be friends and family. And unfortunately, God forbid, if the business doesn't work out well, yes, unfortunately, it's going to be that friend and that family member that's going to be hurt by it. But at the end of the day, if they're friends and family, they'll, to a certain degree, they're willing to take a risk on you and hope that your business is actually going to take off. My initial investments, the original money investments, the money that I had borrowed was from friends and family. Absolutely. Where random people are going to go and lend you money? Which random person? And the banks are, there's all these different programs that they're going to say to you. The banks they are looking to do small business. That's for
the commercials. That's for the commercials.
You're going to have to come up with a whole business plan, which I did have, and you'll show it to the bank, and they're going to say, when you show us 2 years of tax returns and 2 years of bank statements, we'll be able to consider your loan. Yasher koyach.
That's credit cards. Credit cards.
That's not, my experience is I've tried very hard, especially in the beginning. I went to every bank and their mother, and I asked them for lines of credit. And they're all saying 2 years. And let me tell you something. The 2 years later is also, it's 3 years later. 3 years later, when you have your business already and you were eating dirt to yes,
In glass.
literally, you're just guessing Staub for years. Then they'll look at your books, and if your books look normal, then
If you don't need the money, then they'll give you the money.
Exactly. You need the money. If the price is right, there's always what to do. Geld macht Geld. That's a fact.
So when did you open up your first store?
Wait, so one second. So the maskana is, we're going to get to the story. So you got the credit. So what did you do?
He said to me.
He introduced you Gross to somebody
MJ Gross is a diamond house. He said to me, look, I need you to become a member of the Jewelers Board of Trade, JBT. I need you to become a member of the rep. So like this, they'll approve you. You'll be at least you'll be a member of the diamond clubs. He mentioned a few other ones, which he said very easy. Explained to me exactly how to become members of all of those associations. And he said to me, you know what? I'll sell you your first diamond, and you're going to pay me. I'm going to take a chance on you. I'm going to sell you the first diamond. You're going to pay me via check, and it's going to go into the system, and it's going to show that you have a transaction that wasn't, if the terms are 30 days, you're going to pay it before the 30 days are up. And then you're going to go and buy a second diamond and a third diamond from me, and it's going to go into the system. He makes his payments on time. He's responsible.
Honest.
Multiple transactions.
So, multiple transactions. And he said, then what you're going to do is you're going to go to the next diamond dealer that you want to do business with. And I already had the next diamond dealer all lined up. And you're going to go over to them and they're going to say, the other diamond dealers already knew I was dying to try to to establish accounts there. And the interesting thing was, like, all of them were saying, like, hey, look, we deal on larger scales. You're going to, like, what's your business? I'm like, okay, I have a customer. I want to be able to take 3-4 diamonds, show it to them, sell one, and return the rest. No. You buy 10 diamonds from us, and you return one. We're not... So I was like, look, the market is in the red right now. We're in 2008. Who's really buying jewelry right now? The first thing that people stop buying are luxury goods when the market tanks. People are not buying luxury items when the market is tanking. People are not going to go run and start buying jewelry at that particular point. So I was like, look, if I'm selling one diamond, there's one more diamond than you sold last week.
Ladies, today's market similar to 08 or no?
No, not at all.
Now we're doing better.
Not at all. We're definitely doing a lot better than we were doing in 2008. I think that uncertainty where, like, people were calling it the great, like, kind of like similar to I wasn't around, obviously, in 1929. All I could do was read about it, but the Great Depression, the Great... what were they calling it? The Great Depression and the Great Recession. So people were comparing it to the 1929's crash, or even on a larger scale in certain instances. So, like, people were totally, even when things, if things were starting to straighten out, people were still very, very cautious. People wanted to see how the market's going to react and what ultimately is going to happen.
But it's very interesting. You're right. If the market's bad, the first thing you stop buying is jewelry.
First thing you stop buying is jewelry, luxury items. Yeah, I mean, like, you're looking at your essentials. Now, even if you could afford it, you have a nice little stash that you've been putting away. At the end of the day, you don't know how long that stash is going to have to last you. I remember, and it's not all that long ago, so do you, but I'm saying in my business, when COVID hit, and they were telling us mandatory quarantining, right? I remember right before the quarantine, they told us what day we're going to have to start quarantining. They said Monday is when I believe it was Monday is when the quarantine is going to start. The Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday before, people were literally giving away jewelry and diamonds in the market for a fraction of the price. I need to be able to have cash lying around. Just give me a couple. You have cash on you? Give me a couple of dollars and I'll sell you this item. And I was thinking to myself, the end of the world ain't coming as far as I can tell. So maybe I was an idiot. Maybe I was
buying
right
up.
decision.
You were
I was
buying
buying up. I was buying up. I was buying up.
But they say
I was
I
like,
buy in the street when there's blood on the streets.
I was like, I was on Miftzayim once in New Haven on State Street. And a lot of the guys that I was doing Miftzat film with were lawyers and investors. So one of the guys tells me unfortunately, it was when the towers came down. So I was in New Haven when the towers went down. And I was doing Mitzrayim, based off of the way we were brought up. Another act of goodness and kindness is going to,
bring Mashiach.
It's going to bring Mashiach, and it's going to get rid of. It's going to bring a little bit more light into the world. So that Friday, I was out there on Mitzrayim, and b'yeses eis v'yeser eis, I was trying to get more people to put on tefillin. To bring to combat this terrorism that happened, and we have to do, we have to bring a little bit more light into the world, and one more act of goodness and kindness is going to bring Mashiach. So I had my usuals, and I was looking for more people. I walked into an office that the guy generally didn't put on tefillin with me. It was also the beginning of the year, so I hadn't really established.
Interesting. It was Chav Gimel Elul.
That's correct.
So you probably just came a week earlier.
I just come, and I was trying to get this guy to put on tefillin, and I was telling him, everybody knew the towers went down, but I was explaining to him the logic of putting on tefillin is going to bring a little bit more light into the world, and he says to me, "Tell me something, Levi, you have bar mitzvah money?" And I said to him, "Yeah, I got a couple of shekel at my bar mitzvah." He's like, grab all the money and dump it into the market. The last thing I'm thinking about is the market. I'm thinking the towers just went down. I'm a New Yorker. The towers just went down. This guy's talking to me money. And he was like, look, if you think about it, the towers, it's a massive tragedy, obviously a huge tragedy. But at the end of the day, when there's blood on the street, you should invest. And you're going to make a ton of money with that money. I didn't invest. I didn't, long story short, I didn't have access to my bar mitzvah money. It was put away for me. And I didn't, but I didn't invest in the market. But I did follow the market after that. I was following the market, and I was watching what he was saying was absolutely spot on. And it's a whole, guys in yeshivas learning all day. What does he know about the markets? What does he know about what's on the streets? Fear, dust, I don't know about any of these things. But I did follow the market. And when 2008 came around, I saw that fear as well. And when COVID came around, Baruch Hashem, I already had, that lesson was already chakuk. It was engraved in my mind already at this point. And I already had it a little bit, I'm not going to say entirely figured out. I still don't have it entirely figured out. I don't think anybody does. I may have asked him, but somewhat figured out of that, yes, when there's fear, the market's obviously, the stock market's going to crash and all of those, and then the jewelry market's going to crash, the diamond market's going to crash, et cetera, and ultimately these things are all going to recover, et cetera.
Levi, you were the first jeweler retailer on Kingston Avenue. How do you have the confidence to make that move? Everyone was on their basement until then.
So the first, I've heard a few people say, you're the first, and then immediately in the comment section is he's not the first. In I don't know what,
23.
There was a jewelry store on Kingston Avenue. So I don't want to go and say the first. First, as far as I could remember, I was born in 1981. So I don't know. Maybe there was a jewelry store. I don't remember. Maybe there was a jewelry store on Kingston Avenue at some point. I don't remember there being one. I've heard that there was a jewelry store. There was, I believe, I could be wrong, there was somebody Lipkin that had a jewelry store on Kingston Avenue, and maybe there were others before that. But as far as I know, in my tkufa, I'm the first one to open up a jewelry store on Kingston Avenue.
It was about 2011?
I opened it up in 2000, literally the last couple of days of 2014. So really 2015.
So I remember you didn't only move on to the block between Kingston, between Empire and Montgomery. I remember you gut renovated
it.
So I'm going to tell you, I saw it being gut renovated from A to Z. In my mind, it was the first jewelry store I ever remembered on Kingston Avenue. And I will tell you, I'm an optimistic person, and I love capitalism, and I was thinking to myself, oh my God, all the jewelry stores are in people's basements, and my parents went to people's basements, and I was thinking that the Yentas were all saying at the Shabbos table, this guy's crazy, he's going to go bankrupt, because people like to go in basements, and they don't want to be seen on Kingston Avenue. So I want to know what was going through your mind. Reiterate Moshe's question. You were investing hundreds of thousands of dollars. What were you thinking? And you probably signed a few-year lease.
If that's what you were thinking, imagine what I was thinking. I was thinking,
his money.
It's my money, and I had borrowed a lot of it. I didn't have all the money to be able to do this. I was borrowing a lot of money. Again, from friends and family, all the people
And the
that you're not supposed to.
store is gorgeous.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. So what was going through my mind?
Most pretty stores, the employees are not that exciting. Levi has a pretty store. And like I said, it's an hour show.
Thank you.
No, wait.
It's an hour show. He's so entertaining.
Shout out. My niece works in the
People,
store.
hold on. The people,
Dina Michal Cohen, shout out.
people, fancy stores usually overcompensate for their lack of personality. In this case, it's not the case.
In my head, I was doing, if I'm fast forwarding a little
dumpy,
bit.
successful sort of this grouchy personality selling you a burger or pastrami. So it's your unique
So
situation.
remember, I was telling you that I would pick up pieces of jewelry. People would ask me, okay, so I'm looking for something in the $3,000 range. So I would go eventually after I established the credit and I was picking up the pieces. So I was going around to people's homes and showing the pieces of jewelry. I would go to the people's houses, show all those pieces. I want to see bangles in the $3,000 range. I would bring 10, 15 bangles in the $3,000 range. Pick which one you like. I would like to see earrings in the $5,000 range. I would bring, let's say, 10,
All out of
15
your
pieces
car.
of earrings.
All out of your car.
I would go to the people's homes. I would go
Is
and
it
see them.
scary? You're walking around with a lot of money.
What I
you know?
liked about it is that, people are working the whole day. And if a guy wants to be able to, like a regular store is open, let's say 9 to 5, 9 to 6, 10 to 7, 11 to 7, whatever it is, guy comes home at 6 o'clock. The first thing he has to do is right away run to the jewelry store to make sure that it's not closing at 5 minutes final gain, and he's already like he just got home. He's still grouchy. He still didn't get a bite to eat, and now he has to go pick a piece of jewelry and figure out which piece he wants. He's going there with his wife, who the experience is not going to be that amazing. Versus if I tell the person, listen, you tell me what time you want me to come over. You want me to come over at 9 o'clock? You want me to come over at 10 after the kids are already asleep? Absolutely. After dinner? Absolutely. So I would come over based off of the people's times. I promise you, there were many meetings at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning also. And I had absolutely no problem with it because in my head, like businesses are like, but there needs to be a specific time. I'll make the dollar at 2 o'clock in the morning, or I'll make the dollar at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's all good. It worked for me very, very, very well. And Baruch Hashem, my wife was, as far as I remember, was very easygoing about it because I would disappear 11:30 at night. Oh, I have an appointment. 11:30. So, well, where are you going at 11:30? I have an appointment. I need to go show some jewelry. So I would go and I would show those pieces of jewelry in that particular range. Now, I'm coming from Del Mar where I was doing a lot of, eventually, like I told you, first it was the logistics, and then it was the accounting, and it was the grading, and it was recutting, and eventually it came to the manufacturing end of it. I was doing the casting or managing the casting and the setting and the polishing, et cetera, et cetera. So I learned a lot of different parts of the business. So here, with running around and showing people pieces of jewelry in their homes, I was also hustling on 47th Street. I needed to be able to make ends meet. So I would start showing in a few minutes.
You're showing.
Thank you. I would also go around on 47th Street and let people know that a lot of the pieces were being done overseas. A lot of your custom pieces before, let's say, again, the time in or around that I was laid off is in or around the time that people are starting to order pieces for the holiday season. If I'm coming over to a store, one of these places on 47th Street, and I'm saying to them, hey, look, you probably got a whole bunch of custom orders that if you're now going to try to get it done overseas, it may not make it here for the season. Versus I'm going to make it here in New York. I'll match the prices of overseas.
Wow.
I'll match the color and the clarity, and I'll have it done for you within a week. And remember, I don't have a massive operation going on, so I can focus entirely on making sure that those custom orders are going to be finished
B2B
and
wholesale.
on time
So you got into
and
B2B.
perfect. So I would get a lot of the people on the street to give me the orders, and I would get those orders. So like I said, like I was busy running around doing people's repairs. Once I'm already in the city, I would go around and show people, hey, I can do X, Y, and Z. Would you like to give me your orders? And at night, I'm busy going to people's houses and showing the people pieces of jewelry.
You still do home visits?
I still do. If people, I get requests every once in a while. A lot of the times people are like, could you just stay open late for me? So I don't physically go to people's homes as often. Most of the time I'm like, look.
By the way, 2 years ago, I'm not going to say his name, obviously. I remember a guy and his wife coming into the store like 11 o'clock at night.
It happens.
I totally remember.
It happens.
It was close to Pesach.
And a lot of times people are like, oh, lady, you're still opening up the store? Really? At 11 o'clock? I became that I'm that important now. I can't open the store by 11 o'clock.
Do the insurance companies that insure you for the millions of dollars, do they have rules of when you can open up the store?
So there's an opening time and there's a closing time. And if I need to open or stay later, I will contact the insurance company and it's not the insurance company. I'm going to contact the security company, and I'm going to let them know that I'm going to be reopening at whatever time, and I'm going to be closing at whatever time. And if I need an extension, they'll call in, and I'll let them know I need an extension. So yeah, like if somebody somebody wants me to open up at 11, 12 o'clock at night, and it works for me that night to be able to do it. Remember, like when I was doing it, I had no children.
When you do 1 o'clock and they don't buy it, you ready to?
I'm sorry?
If someone makes you stay till 1 and they don't buy it, you ready to?
It is what it is. That's part of business. You're not doing anybody any favors by being in business. It's mutual. I've spoken to other business people, some of them on avenues, and without naming any names, and they're like, do you know what I did for this community? Do you know how many people I allowed them to take home X, Y, and Z, and they didn't pay me, and I'm still waiting? Do you know what I do for this community? Bottom line is, that's how you pay your bills. That's how I pay my bills. It's mutual. I'm not doing anybody any grace service. They're doing me a favor by coming into my store and buying pieces of jewelry from me, and I totally appreciate it. And I think that I'm doing them a service by offering the service that I'm offering and the jewelry that I'm offering. There is no
no favors.
Obviously, people will go out of their way. I'll go out of my way very, very often. I'll go above and beyond. I'll try to go above and beyond for customers. At the end of the day, it's your name and it's your pride.
First retailer, jeweler in Kingston Avenue. How did you get the confidence?
So when I was doing all of that, running all over the place, I'm so sorry.
This is the big question, yeah.
When I was doing all of that, I was also getting a lot of these custom orders. So these custom orders, when I was doing it for other stores, I realized every guy, I was doing it for 47th Street vendors. No names again. Levi, do me a favor. Remember, these are custom orders. I was doing the custom. I was after the custom orders. That means you already got a deposit for the stuff. Levi, so you'll come after the season and I'll pay you. You come after the season. Today's not a good day. You come a week later, now I'm a beggar. I'm sitting there. I finished the pieces. I dealt with, we want a special engraving, and we want it to be we want it to be set with tiger nail. All of it's custom. All of it is customized. And the next thing you know, every 5 minutes they're telling, so come back next week. Come back in another 3 weeks. Today I'm not in Heint, Morgan, Ibermorgan. I was getting the runaround like you can't imagine, and I'm playing with my chasana money. I had no money. I'm playing with my chasana money to create these pieces. Yeah, I had some money from working all of the other years, but you also have to remember, I just got married. There's couches, there's bedroom sets, there's rent, there's food, there's a car, I was on Cobra. There's insurance, all of those other wonderful things. At the end of the day, this guy's telling me, Heint, Morgan, Iberbargen, Dinstig, Mittwoch.
For people who don't know, in the B2B world sounds very glorious. The wholesale world sounds glorious, but something you end up becoming the bank.
So that's what my problem was. I couldn't afford to be the bank. And remember, I'm playing with my chassan money. It's not my money. It's
to pay
our money.
Days,
at the end of the day, you're married for 15 minutes. And now I got to walk over and say, oh, by the way, remember that money that we got for our wedding? I invested it in some jewelry and I sold it and I made a profit on it. Where's the money? It's by him. Next week, he told me, come back next week. And then next week, Baruch Hashem, I wasn't, no one was riding me. But at the end of the day, in my head, somebody's riding me. It was me riding me,
Basically
but with the excuse in my head saying, if my wife is going to ask me, where's that money? It's not my money. If she's going to ask me what's going on, and I'm not going to be able to answer where the money is, I'm chasing that money, and I felt dirty. At some point, every other day, I'm busy like a beggar. When you wanted me to go and create the pieces every day, like, Levi, where's the order holding? Am I going to have it on time? Did you forget the tiger nail? Do you remember the engraving? Did you write it with the proper font, etc., etc.? Is it all of it? You made sure that it's two-tone, that the head is in platinum.
So in retail, there's little to zero payment plans. That's what you're saying.
So I'm sure like stores do have it. I'll finish that thought and I'll get back to that. Remind me. I'm like literally all
That's
over
what you're
the place.
saying. You're saying wholesale, everyone wants payment plans.
By the grace of God, people found out that I do custom work. So I was getting, Baruch Hashem, a lot of custom orders, but now on the retail end. I was taking the deposit now, and when I would finish the piece, I would get paid immediately. I'm a chaya. I don't have to chase anybody. You want to pick up the piece? Make sure that you have the remaining balance available. And everybody did.
Retail's
no more
king.
Problems. Half of my, that problem, no more problems. That problem disappeared. You want to pick it up? Come pick it up. Make sure you have the money available. Sei mir gesund und stark. I'm doing your repair. As soon as I hand you the repair, hand me the money for the repair. And ungendigt. That was the end of the story. So to me, I ran away from manufacturing for the street, and I was manufacturing now for people. In addition, I was still bringing them the pieces of jewelry. So that part of the business, it's all for me, it was all word of mouth. I was never advertising anywhere. It was all word of mouth. One person, he made this beautiful, who made it for you? Levi Laine.
Built up.
What ultimately happens is people start asking you, so where are you located? Where am I located? In my house. Where am I? On my dining room table.
Also, you need
now,
a spot.
I did have a factory that initially that I was working with that was creating all of those custom pieces. I was going to casters in the city. I was casting the molds. I was using CAD artists to create the pieces. Some people are actually artists. They would draw the piece that they wanted me to make. And I would go and make that into reality. I would get the piece created, get the CAD done, bring it to the caster, have the casting done. Then you tumble it, you have it pre-polished, have the setter set it. If there's jewelry work, making it move, then the jeweler is working on it.
You need the retail really for the custom orders.
So the vart was here.
Normal.
All of a sudden, people are like, "So where's your located? Where's your shop? Where's your brick and mortar?"
I'm getting that question for 6 years.
And my answer would be like, "Oh, I have a factory in the city. Yes, shakayach. Is it your factory?" So then, in the beginning, no, it wasn't. It's not my factory. I'm not going to lie. It wasn't my factory. So like I was using. I wasn't necessarily brokering.
Project manager-ish.
Kind of like. So like no like so.
So the retail was really just.
So to me, like at some point, Baruch Hashem, it was building and building. I was getting more and more of these orders. So I thought to myself, maybe I'll open up a really nice office. People will come in. It'll be a really nice, ultimately, when I stopped going to people's homes because one person lives on Utica and the other person lives on Nostrand, I would go
Utica
all over the place. Everybody wants to buy. Baruch Hashem, people, the wife gives birth, they want to buy themselves.
Levi, conversion rates to sales of people that you did home visits versus guy walks into retail store.
So when you're doing it, when I did it out of my house, when I was doing it out of other people's homes, remember, they're exceptionally interested, and I would always bring them a very nice, large selection. And if I didn't have the pieces there, I would say, I'll see you again tomorrow night with a whole new selection. Now I understand what you're looking for. You're looking for only white gold.
So conversion rates, home visits versus your store.
I would say there was very, very, very few times that it didn't result in a sale. And as it grew, I wasn't able to go necessarily to people's homes. So what I would do is there would be multiple customers a night. I can't be everywhere. So I would tell them all, come to my house, and I would sell it at my dining room table. And I did it all properly. I called up, I had, at the time, obviously it was before I had the store, so I made sure I moved in there. I had the proper security system put into my house. I had video cameras put in. No display cases. I was doing it at my dining room table, but I had a security system put in. I had a proper safe put into the apartment that I was living in at the time, and I had it properly insured, etc. So it was being done proper. And like this, when I would go to the vendors and I would tell them, hey, I need to pick up some goods to show to people, it wasn't kind of like one of the things that I was able to tell them is I have my own insurance. Here's the insurance company that I'm using. Shout out to the company that I'm using. I'm still using Jewelers Mutual, Regina Adio. She was very like people, again, same idea. The original people were telling me, where to get the insurance, who to use, what companies are going to be recognized in the jewelry business to be a serious player where vendors are saying, okay, this guy is taking the business seriously. He's not just trying to cut corners. So they told me, like, make sure you get insurance from Jewelers Mutual. And I got the proper, she explained to me what safe I needed to get at the time and what sort of measures I needed to take. And I was showing jewelry now out of my house.
By the way, just rough numbers. If you have a jewelry store with a couple $1 million of insurance, it's probably very expensive.
Not crazy.
No, the premiums are not.
I don't, again, it's all relative. Everything is all relative. I don't know what's considered expensive or not expensive. I'll tell you, in my overhead or my overall expenses, that's not considered one of the larger expenses.
2%.
If you have the proper safes, right? They'll tell you today that they want you to have TRTL safes, tool resistant and torch resistant, right? So if you at times 6 from all 6 sides, they're going to want you to have tool resistant and torch resistant safes. If you have a safe like that, they'll tell you, okay, this safe that you have, model X, Y, and Z with a UL rating, you have to have UL rated safes. You have to have, I have UL rated safes, and the insurance is going to insure you a lot better if you have UL rated safe. So if you have a UL rated safe, they'll tell you, okay, this safe can hold, let's say, just as a number, $1 million.
Talks like a teacher.
So, and if you only have, let's say, a TL.
Maybe you should consider doing a jewelry course.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Maybe. So many options here. I should be a teacher.
No, you are a teacher. That's why you're.
So you can't keep the jewelry in the windows. I never saw a jewelry store in the world that had the jewelry in the window.
I pack it and unpack it every night. Our store, the team packs it and unpacks it.
Is there an insurance you could buy that you're allowed to keep the jewelry in the window? Because whenever you pass by a jewelry store at night, it's so boring.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Put
I would
fake
imagine
jewelry,
that there isn't one like that. They do want you to have it, unless your whole store is a vault, and you're going to be paying probably a small fortune to make it into a vault.
But Tiffany's, it's all fake in the front?
I have no idea if
you would
Tiffany's
guess?
what stuff do they have out there in the front? Is there like this
no idea.
Massive diamond piece that's sitting there in the front?
Oh, so from your house, you went to the store.
So I was selling out of my house, and when people would ask me, so where's your shop? So I thought, like, if I could have that experience, I thought that the experience was really great. I'd be sitting at my dining room table, I'd offer people drinks. You're sitting around, you're schmoozing. I'm in my element. I'm at my dining room table, or if it was at their dining room table, so everything's comfortable, everything's nice, and you're sitting, you're selling some jewelry. If I can make an office with that sort of idea, have a dining room table in the middle of it, and have some drinks, and tell me what piece you want me to build, and see you later. Or should I open up a regular retail jewelry store? So I was contemplating which one I want to do, and I spoke to different people in the industry, and everybody was like, Levi, your overhead is not crazy right now. What do you need this for? Mali atzara zeis, you really don't need this headache. The amount of inventory that you're going to need to carry, the insurances that you're going to need, the space that you're going to need. So all of that it's going to run you.
People tell me, don't leave your 9 to 5. You could do stuff on the side.
And remember, we're still in middle of the period of time where when I was floating all of this, I opened it up, and if you want to open up in end of 2014, your planning is starting already in 2013.
Believe me, now that you did it, how do you feel about it?
Baruch Hashem, very, very good. My wife was very into it.
And again, the reason why you had the confidence, even though nobody else would do it, is you thought that people would come to the Avenue?
So I thought like this. I thought, remember, I need to be able to say that I have a brick and mortar. I need to be able to tell people, here's where I'm at.
Okay.
So now, I can do it in multiple places. You could open it up in Borough Park. You could open it up in the city. You could open it up in Williamsburg. You can open it up anywhere.
Leave, if you start again, would you start your first day in retail or no?
Would I start again in retail?
If someone's starting tomorrow,
it's
would you
what
say?
I know.
If you were starting today all over again, looking back, would you start opening a store the first day you're in business in jewelry or no? Or are you happy the way you evolved, you grew into it?
I was very happy that I grew into it. Okay. I was very, very happy.
Because some people are the opposite. They start in retail and they grow back home because they have a customer base and then they sell to them.
If I would have opened it up day one and I would have started that way, you have to remember, like I already started, like what Clappy said. I already had a customer base. Right. I already had people coming in. I already had orders, etc. So to me, I knew that there's going to be a certain amount of cash flow. If I'm opening up day one, first of all, you open up a new store. Let's say, if I'm rewinding, like you said, and I'm starting all over, Laine Jewelers opens up on Kingston Avenue. Who's shopping in Laine Jewelers? Who's walking in? Oh, it's a new store. Let's go check it out. You're checking it out, but are you shopping there? What's his reputation? How do we know that he's honest? How do we know that he's selling whatever he says he's selling? How do we know that his customer service is really going to be what he says it's going to be? And remember, in our community, it's a communities kind of store. It's located.
By
in
the way, I pass by every day. A lot of non-Chabad people.
If we're looking at it as a community, Baruch Hashem, like I told you, I already started off with a very decent following. So yes, so when I started off, most of my customers were actually not Crown Heights community. There was a decent amount. Don't get me wrong. There were a very decent amount that were Crown Heights, but a very, 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 very large percentage was not. So when I'm starting off, and we're in this community, very der Mensch, very sehr, he's selling jewelry, very dein Tag, who's his father, who's his mother, how do we know we can trust him? DNA, so it's going to have to start somewhere. I actually had a lot of interesting names for the store. None of them included my name. I'm not, in my head, I'm a little bit of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Is it narcissist?
A little bit of a narcissist. So, of course, I would love to see my name in shining lights.
Well, a lot of jewelry stores, typically, they go after the family name.
I would love, but I didn't want to put Laine Jewelers on it. Like I said, I had a manufacturing company, still have a manufacturing. Links of New York.
Why'd you call it
something, you want to call it something.
How'd you get to it?
And I was speaking to some marketing people. They were like, well, first of all, Laine Jewelers has a certain ring to it. And second of all, and I already had, I was doing jewelry by Laine. And the reason why I had my name in there is because people were telling me, like, how do people know who you are? Like, you're going to have some name there. How do you, who is he? Laine, Laine, wer ist ein Tate, wer ist ein Mame, who is he? Yes, you could backtrack and you could say, okay, Laine, you know what? I'll give it a shot. But it comes with a but as well. When you have a name, when you have a store that says your name on it, you're also, and Baruch Hashem, you're to a certain degree, you're a slave to the business. People are not walking in there now to sparkly and shiny. They want to know, where's Levi Laine? I want to talk to, who's Laine? I want to talk to Levi Laine.
By the way, in the car ride here, you got 20 phone calls. Were they all from the store?
Yes.
I knew it.
Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem, yes.
Levi, I know you almost died. Can you tell us more about that?
I think everybody has their own interesting experiences. Baruch Hashem, the Eibishter is very good to me. Everybody has their struggles that they go through. We're still here, Baruch Hashem. We're here. We're happy.
Levi, Chas and Kala go on a couple of dates.
Yep.
8, 9, 10 dates, whatever, 2, 3, 4 weeks, whatever it is. I'm not getting into it. And now every single engagement. So if there's 10,000 engagements in Lubavitch a year, every one of the 10,000, the Chassan's mother usually buys the Kala a nice piece of jewelry.
That's correct.
They come into Laine Jewelers on Kingston Avenue, and I'm just curious. But my wife went with my mother, and I never found out how the experience went.
So to me, the first thing I always say, sorry to cut you off, I think I see where you're going with this. A lot of the times beforehand, at this point, they'll call the store and they'll say, what do you think my budget should be? And remember, they're going to have multiple children.
Oh, is that your question?
He knew exactly.
What's the question?
The parents, how do you deal with money and make it uncomfortable?
The parents of the groom are going to be paying for it.
Sorry to interrupt.
Different budgets, different communities,
let me double, sorry to interrupt. They broke the shidduch after they presented the diamond. It wasn't expensive enough.
That's terrible.
That's a little vain.
They usually call up ahead of time.
They usually ahead of time, and they'll ask.
By the way, we're teaching people that are dating now. They want to. This is educational.
They'll call up and they'll find out. They'll ask, what is the budget? My initial response will always be, I'm sure that you have friends that have married children off. Why don't you speak to your friends and family and find out what their numbers were? It's very $10,000. It's very easy to throw a number. Did you speak to friends and family and find out in or around where you would like to be? Yes, but I'd like to hear from you. Then I'll throw out some numbers. I'll say, hey, look, anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000, and that will get you a really nice piece. Oh, it's going to be, is it going to look normal?
By the way,
Will I be embarrassed with the $2,000?
The $2,000 to $5,000,
No, you won't.
the $2,000 to $5,000 range to get the kala a nice engagement present to come to the L'chaim and the pictures and everything. Does that include today where gold went through the roof?
So it's still going to be in or around there. You have to also remember most people are receptive to the fact that actually gold went up and things cost more. Like people will say, I remember when at this point they're marrying their children off. They'll be like, I remember when I was a chassan and my father gave me a $1,500 budget and it was considered a very nice budget. It probably was 25, 30 years ago.
And a house was $200,000.
MS. So people are very receptive to the fact that gold went up and they'll recognize that fact and be like, okay, that's what the budget is today. I understand that. Also, you have to remember, they're probably also talking to other people that have married children off, and they're probably getting an idea of what that budget should be. If I'm the first phone call, I'll say that this is in or around where it will be. Pick a number, and the number will be in or around there.
$2,000 to $5,000. It sounds very reasonable. And you could get something nice.
Remember, they're making a wedding. There's a lot that's like, what do you like? $2,000 to $5,000 will get you a very nice piece. And I'm working with budgets from me speaking to, like when I started with those budgets, where was I getting those numbers from? How did I all of a sudden decide that that's what the number is? You got to start someplace. It was me speaking to people that were marrying off children and asking them, hey, when you were marrying your child off, what numbers were you looking at for the engagement gift? What number were you looking at for the diamond ring? You speak to a few people because I have to create an inventory. I'm creating that inventory based off what people are telling me.
What happens if the kala comes and she's looking at stuff that's $2,000 to $5,000 because that's what the mother-in-law is usually there already in the store with her?
So I would always tell people, if I'm speaking to the mother-in-law, I would say to the mother-in-law, do you remember the experience when you were a kala and your mother-in-law was in the store with you? What piece of jewelry did you walk out with? Did you walk out with the one that you liked, or did you walk out with the one that she liked? Just remember that. Most of the time, the conversation kind of like ends there. Like, yes, I do remember, and I got a piece. It was chalushes. I hated it from day one. I left it in a drawer. Some people will say that.
By the way, I know a lot of chassanim, the father-in-law chose the watch without them, a Vado or a Breitling or a this or that. They tell me they never wear it. It's so painful. Give the guy the money and say, go buy a watch.
So to me, what I'll say is, of course, everybody's welcome in my store, right? You're more than welcome to come to the store. But my suggestion would be is tell the kala to come in with a good friend or a sister and have them pick the piece of jewelry. Because if the kala is going to come in even with her mother, at the end of the day, she got married 20, 25, 30 years ago. She's also like her style and her pieces of jewelry that she likes are different than what's in style necessarily today. So you don't want you don't necessarily want the mother picking the piece of jewelry, and you don't want the mother-in-law picking the piece of jewelry. You give me a budget, let her pick the piece of jewelry. I'll show her everything that's within the budget. Let her pick the piece of jewelry. Yeah, but she's so young, she doesn't know. Okay, we have salespeople in the store. They're not commission-based. They're getting paid whether the sale happens or doesn't happen, and they're there to help you. So I
think we're going to make a lot of shalom bayis on this podcast. Do not go with the kala to the jewelry store.
Sure, you can.
No, but you're going to make it more comfortable.
You could come, absolutely. And you know what? When it boils down to 2 or 3 pieces that she chose, and she asks you which one of these 3, remember, all 3 of them are going to be ones that she likes. Okay, help her pick which one. That's not a problem. You boiled it down to 3. She likes all 3 of them. She likes both of them. Whatever it is, you're more than welcome to now give an input. Remember, you're also paying for it. And at the end of the day, if it's a piece that
what was
you
the
really...
craziest story that ever happened?
Oh my God, crazy story.
Yeah,
I could write a book.
Give it a
crazy story.
Yeah, just because we're ending the podcast.
So in terms of repairs, in terms of sales,
like the
what?
in-laws. I like the in-laws and the daughter-in-law. That's, for me, the most drama. That's what I assume.
So I'll give you a couple. I'll give you
one
story. I have one story where a customer came in, and it's a repair story. I'll give you a repair story. You want a kala story?
Yeah, when they're just getting married, they don't all be uncomfortable and weird and awkward, and they don't want to. That I feel. Am I wrong? That's where the most social.
So there are. Remember, I am also. You have to remember that I'm a community store as well. And at the end of the day, I have.
Oh, you
tons
don't want to
of,
say the story?
Oh, I can
You're
tell
not
you
saying names.
Okay,
Oh, you saying
so
people didn't ask you.
I can give you some.
Some.
You know who you are. You know what you did.
Okay, I forget.
You know what you did.
Lady, what's the worst part of the business?
The worst part of the business.
Yeah.
So you have a couple of ends of it. Like so, like you were when we were discussing before that people will ask you, that like when you're doing retail, people will pay you immediately. There are those that will walk into the store, especially in my early years.
Payment plans.
They'll walk in and they'll say, Laine, veridantate, tumerateve. And the minute you know it starts going to Yiddish, you know already. You know what's about to happen. He speaks English as well as I speak English. Next thing you know is Levi. Hey, Levi. Yeah, Levi. He has no idea. Hey, Levi. Tumerateve. Ik kreeg wat zalt en nog op the end from the monat. In the meantime, you're like, at the first or the second of the month. That's my Tanat Teva. I'm going to pay you Mitzvah Shem at the end of the month. And now here,
oh boy,
I got to pay for the goods. Like, so now what? Like, I got to float this, and now I'm a bank also. But same problem with. Ich kenne deinen Taten. Und dein Bruder, das sagt dein Bruder, ich kenne ihn sehr gut, ein feiner Mensch. So the next thing you know is you're agreeing to it, and after a short period of time, those numbers were crawling up and up and up. And I was borrowing money at larger percentages. Remember, you're a new store. Who's lending you money? If you're going hard, you're going to pay the sharks. So I'm paying percentages. So I was paying those percentages, and I'm realizing like whatever markup I'm trying to make, I ain't getting that money. Now, people also right away would say, Levi, if you move now into a store on Kingston Avenue, your overhead is so much higher, so your prices are probably crazy. I wanted to keep the exact same prices. I looked at it like, I'm going to be able to
make more sales
on the custom end because now you have brick and mortar. So people are going to come in and they're going to be like, okay, here's his brick and mortar. I'm going to also get now walk-ins. And, it's people in the community. They will know me. So, and I do have my name on the store.
You're in the business how many years? 10 years, 15 years, 20 years?
No. And owning the store? Or doing
in business.
Over 20 years.
But the store is 12 years.
Last question. How much money do you say you have on the street that you don't think people ever pay you back?
So, you know what? Not a lot.
Not a lot.
Really not
give
a
us can you give us like a real-ish number so people should know what it means to run a business?
So in the beginning, I remember being open literally 3 months in, and I already borrowed from friends and family, and now I'm borrowing hard. 3 months in, I had well over $70,000 on the street, and I'm already in debt. I already redid the store and all of that. And now part of my business is not just custom making the pieces and not just sitting with the customers and showing them pieces. Now I'm a bank and debt collection. And it gets very uncomfortable because remember, it's my chave, right? So now you're calling the guy up and you're like, listen, it's the end of the month. Now you're saying to them in Yiddish, and the guy's like, ich gedenk. Nicht dem Woche, nächsten Woche, Mirza Hashem. And nächsten Woche, it's like the tefillin. When are you going to put on next Woche? It was always next Woche. I was chasing the money, in a lot of instances, really chasing the money.
I think I had a great time today. Maybe you'll start social media yourself, Instagram account. People should follow you. You ready to have Instagram account?
So the store has an Instagram account.
But you don't do any videos?
I don't.
Zero.
In my head, I'm a pretty shy guy. You guys
we didn't cover.
In a good mood.
We didn't finish. So this is the most amazing, great store for the Kalas and for the Chesanim to come to buy their wives' jewelry for Yamim Tovim. It's a halacha and Shulchan Aruch to buy, and you get the Levi experience with the top salespeople in the store. Also, there's the wedding, the engagement gift, the wedding bands, for the Kalas, and the diamond ring for the Kalas. Bas mitzvahs. What about bas mitzvahs?
Bas mitzvahs. So bas mitzvahs, it always used to be like a $250 to $350 ordeal. Today, with the gold prices where they are, it's not going to be those numbers anymore. Right. You're probably looking more like at $500.
But for a bas mitzvah girl, she deserves a $500 gift in the jewelry store.
100%.
Yeah, 100%.
Hold on.
So how much do you think today I have lying around on the street?
$500,000.
Not a chance.
100,000.
Not a chance.
50,000.
No. I have less than $5,000 on the street.
Whoa.
I buttoned down. I made those phone calls. I got the money in.
It's pay to play. If you don't pay, you don't get the...
I promised myself I will never go into those chavis again because I was borrowing that money. And Baruch Hashem, when I made the mistake a few more times, and then I was like, listen, I have no problem with layaway. I'll put the piece away. You'll pay.
Layaway. I keep it. Du kannst kommen nach heute.
Exactly. Or, you know what? I offered credit cards, like Laine Jewelers credit cards. Oh, long story with that. I could write a book about that as well. But at some
We gotta
point,
do round two.
I would say to them, listen, American Express could
I
float
think we
this.
have to do a follow-up interview in a few months from now to see what's going on. How do people reach you to come and have the amazing Laine
So
experience with jewelry?
we have a website.
There's a website.
Of course, LLaineJewelers.com.
LLaineJewelers.com.
We have Instagram.
Instagram.
It's also Laine Jewelers. You can find us on Instagram. We have Facebook.
And the showroom is on Kingston
The
Avenue
showroom
in
is
Brooklyn.
415 Kingston Avenue.
415.
Get the
415
Levi
Kingston
Laine
Avenue.
show.
The Levi Laine show?
I call it the Levi Laine show.
That's the show. We don't want to go into
415
competition
Kingston
with you.
Avenue.
You're taking the food out of my kids' mouth.
Open Sunday through Friday.
Levi, I always hope
Sunday through Friday.
your first time ever doing a video, right?
Like this, yeah.
I would say it's inherently my mission statement in life to get people comfortable on video and for them to do it afterwards. So I hope from this show you start doing daily videos, talking about pieces, talking about your day, because I think you do. I think you beat all these
hold on a
clowns.
I
second.
thought I was
Hold
all
on a
over the
second.
place.
Pesach is 2 months away, less. If somebody wants a custom piece of jewelry that they always dreamt of to buy for their wives or children, they
many
have to
days in
order it.
advance?
They have to order it now. No.
So I do I still have a factory, Baruch Hashem, in the city. I do a lot of most of my custom work, pretty much all my custom work is still being done here in New York. I can follow it. I can watch it. I'm not getting some piece from overseas. Then I have to look at it. It came in right. It came in wrong. I have to ship it back. I do everything. All my custom work is right here in the city.
Today's the 4th.
I can turn a piece around.
Week?
I could turn it around in a week. I definitely would not like to because then everybody comes in and it's their piece that they want in the week. In the meantime, you have 50 pieces like that. I ask people for about a month. But can I turn it around in a week? Yes. Can I turn it around in 3 days also? Yes.
Levi, if I could say last question. If someone wants to quote unquote invest in a piece, should they focus more on the gold than the stone?
So investments, jewelry. See, we hit on it before. Jewelry isn't necessarily like when I was saying before. The flawless diamonds; those are considered more investment. Gold on its own is considered like you never really know. Like I can't guarantee that gold's going to go up. I'm not a novi. If you look at gold's history, you can see that throughout the years, gold obviously goes up. Diamonds, obviously, if you're going to follow it from, from 30 years ago, diamonds have obviously gone up.
More on the gold.
I can't tell people.
But diamonds are down.
Gold is very.
we forgot to cover something.
Gold
we
is
had it
very
right.
easy to unload.
With lab-grown diamonds.
Diamonds are a little more difficult.
We never
to unload.
discussed lab-grown diamonds. Everybody talks about it now.
So I'm not against lab-grown diamonds.
Do you sell them?
I think yes, I do. Everything has its time and its place. So Hestis says, to me, if someone's getting it, you don't have. I'm not. This is not Tater Messina at all. To me, someone's getting engaged today. Lab diamonds are a couple of $100 per carat. So if you want to get a 3-carat lab stone, it's going to cost well under $1,500, right? Well under $1,500. To me, if you're getting a 3-carat diamond for your Kala lab, how many people in our neighborhood are getting 3-carat diamonds?
0.
A 3-carat diamond, if it was natural, could be in the 30s. So at the end of the day, you're walking around with your 3-carat diamond. Who are you fooling? Everybody's going to know that it's a lab created. So hold on for a second, if you don't mind. Sorry.
Yeah, it's hard for me.
My apology. I know it's your show. I don't
No,
want to.
no,
Like,
no. This
I
show
felt
is your
like I
show,
was
Levi.
all over the place already. I
Doing great.
want to finish one proper thought. When you're buying something for a proper occasion, you're about to get engaged. You're about to get married. Don't you want to buy something that has some sort of inherent value? Right? So to me, if you're going to be buying a $1,500 lab-created stone that's 3 carats that everybody's going to know, up. So to me, I always tell people, I ask people, what's your budget? And based off of that budget, even if it's not going to be a very big stone, let's get a natural diamond. And you know what? I do offer on round diamonds. Like I said, the markups aren't crazy. It's like milk at the end of the day. Every store is going to have that 1 carat, and everybody's going to try to compete. So at the end of the day, let's say you're going to get just under a carat. Let's say you're going to get a 90 pointer, right? You're going to get a 90 pointer, and in 3 years from now, you want to upgrade it. I'll buy it back. It's very easy to burn and turn. I'll buy it back from you, and we'll upgrade to the next diamond. Lab created diamonds, I
upgrades.
can't do that with. It has, like, you're paying for it a couple $100s per carat, but if I want to resell it, there isn't really a resale market. And that's why I refused to sell it for a very long time.
What's the current-
When they were expensive, they had zero markup. If I'm charging for that 3 carat, I'm charging 10 grand. And then, the customer comes in and says, oh, I would like to upgrade this, or I would like to.
upgrade available.
Next thing I'm saying to them is, I'm sorry, it has. So who took the money? They're going to assume that you took the money and ran. So I refuse to sell. Now that it's a few $100s per carat, I'm happy to sell.
Lady,
the
what
labs.
percent of
But
people
for-
actually get lab for engagement today in your store?
Not many.
10%,
I have this
20%,
conversation.
give a number.
He
It's
educates them
10%.
zero.
It's not
Under 10%.
Under 10%.
Because you educate
So I'm going to
them.
say to
I'm
the
just
person,
curious about the-
it's what do you call it? It's
No inherent value.
It's you're getting married right now. You want to be able to show that you
Upgradable.
cherish. No, you
It's like a
cherish
leasing
the
car.
person.
Toyota Sienna have
You cherish the
value-ish.
person that you're getting engaged to. You're not going and buying her some
CZ.
exactly. So you want to be able to give her something nice, and that she should feel good about it as well. I got a natural, nice diamond. On the other hand, there is a place for lab created diamonds. If somebody's making a nice piece, let's say they have a wedding coming up, and the piece that they really want to wear is a $10,000 piece versus in lab it's a $3,000 piece, right? They could build that piece for the wedding. For fashion, let me just say it like this: for fashion items, fashion goes out of fashion. It's exactly what it. Gishmai Kane who. It's now in fashion. In 3-4 years from now, it won't be in fashion. So now you're going to go and lose all the labor and the markup, et cetera, et cetera.
You know what I
You're
just
going to go and
got?
lose.
You know what I
Why
ju-
would you go and do
You
it?
know what I just
Build it
got?
in lab.
A really rich person is the only one that can get away
Right,
with
they
a
can get away with that. Like Vergate Zogan, there was a famous person in Crown Heights that wore he wore Patek Philippe, and the story goes that one day he was in the mikveh and he threw the Patek Philippe on top of his pile of clothes. And somebody went over to him and said to him, "You just throw the Patek Philippe azay in mikveh on top of your pile of clothes." He's like, "The Patek Philippe, it's fake." It's fake. Wer geht sagen, als ich hab a fake Patek Philippe? So the bottom line is, yes, could wealthier people
Thank you
get
very
away
much.
with it? Absolutely.
the great Levi Laine.
Such an honor and pleasure to have
Thank
you
you.
on.
I really appreciate it.
Like and subscribe right over there. It was really entertaining. I can't believe 2 hours went by. It felt
2
like
hours?
it felt
Oh my
like
the
God.
longest show
it
ever.
felt like 5 minutes.
Wow.
I don't know if it was exactly 2 hours. How long?
Wow, longest show
Wow,
ever.
longest show
I
ever.
feel
We
like
broke
Nice,
the
there's more to go.
I
You know
I
what?
apologize.
You
I
broke
feel like
the
I was all
record.
over the place.
You broke the record, and I felt like 15 minutes.
Lady,
Thank
how
you.
come
I
you don't
appreciate it.
Could you say one thing? I don't know if you can be comfortable because you're ready Knicks at once. Can I try again or no?
What?
Juggling work when you have family members in the hospital. Could you mind do a little snippet of that? To
So
give chizuk
to
to
me,
people. You don't mind, 'cause on the way in the car-
it's a very, I understand it, unfortunately, firsthand experience. When you have a family member, and I applaud all of those organizations. I don't know which ones
Could
you
list
guys
them?
want to plug,
No, plug all of them.
but to
All,
me,
plug them
when
all.
you have a family member or yourself in the hospital, and let's just say that family member or you are in the hospital for 2 weeks. So you have the parent, let's say, that's living with that kid in the hospital for 2 weeks. First of all, which person is going to allow you to take off 2 weeks? That's Aleph. Bays, traveling to the hospital, traveling back from the hospital. Those Ubers are going to start to rack up really nice and fast. In addition, there's food. So the Uber Eats is going to rack up really, really fast.
Could you plug those chesed
So I mean,
organizations,
like
Levi?
to me, there's also what's also really, really, really nice being part of a community is that you have those meal trains. Really, 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 really
Bikur
nice.
Chalem?
You have Bikur Chalem is exceptionally nice. Esther Lubavik runs
best,
Bikur Chalem.
the best.
Absolutely the best. So that takes off
But
a
you have
lot
to
of
make
the
sure that
burden.
the wrong
But
people
at
don't
the
get
end
on
of the
the train,
day,
Levi.
to me, like thinking about it, when you yourself, chas v'shalom hayalesia, when a person is sick, you're not running your business. You have people working for you. But remember, if your name is on the business, you're a shtickle, not in a bad way, you're a shtickle slave to the business. Where's Levi? I want to discuss with him the prices. Oh, so sorry, he's not in right now. They're not going to wait around for you forever. Some people will, some people will not. So you're going to take a nice little hit there. But The Eibishter führt der Welt. That's
This is
the way,
recent, right?
obviously.
Your recent experience, Levi.
My experiences in general. Unfortunately, I have many of those experiences.
And the reason I also want to plug is
you're going to, unfortunately, your business is going to, if you're self-employed, your business is going to take a nice whapple from being out. And if you're working for somebody else, like, how long could you take off for? And then if you're gonna you're gonna abandon your kid in the hospital, chas v'shalom. So it's definitely
So
a
the
lot.
Musar Haskell we're getting to is...
But I don't know what the Musar Haskell is. The bottom line is that that's the way the Eibishter wants it. Rosh Hashanah, he decided that that's how much money you're making.
My Musar Haskell, Levi Laine, has been through a lot in his life, ups and downs.
I think everybody
medical,
has.
who knows
Life.
what. And look how happy and positive
We
he is.
have
He
a
doesn't blame.
lot to learn from
He
him.
doesn't point fingers. He doesn't say, "Look at me, this."
Who are you
and look
supposed
how
to
positive he is.
And that's
That's
going to
my
help you.
Musar Haskell.
If you're going to blame somebody, it's going to help you.
We
I
need
remember when
more Levi Laines.
I wanted to get loans from the bank right in the beginning. I wanted to be able to get the money. Every bank, remember, it takes 3 years at least. In my experience, other people have other experiences. Every bank and I also went to investors. Everybody's telling you no. And every day you just get a little bit more depressed. And in my head, I would say to myself, so I'll get 20 no's. I just need one yes. All I need is one yes. And after that yes, you can go with that yes to other places and say,
Build on
this
that.
place, yes, 100%. Same thing with the vendors. All I need, and he did say yes. All I needed was that one vendor. And then when I built a credit with him, other vendors said yes.
No one
It's
wants
the
to be
same
the
thing with
first.
the
No one
banks.
wants
The
to be
same
the
thing.
first.
So at the end of the day, all you need is that one yes. I would wake up in the morning and I would say to myself, today my goal is to get that one yes. And at the end of the day, a successful businessman, oh, you're a successful businessman. Successful doesn't mean that you have piles of money. Successful means that you succeeded in the goal that you started out to do in the morning or in the beginning of the year. So if you set up a goal,
And this
in
is
the beginning
Levi
of the
Laine.
year, you set up and you say, I want to have X amount of dollars in my inventory. I want to build my inventory to hit X number. And you're working towards it. And yes, there's going to be obstacles. And unfortunately, let's say someone, chas v'shalom, is going to get sick in the middle. And there's going to be the obstacles of having too much money out on the street. And there's going to be percentages and all those other things. But you're working towards that goal and you ultimately hit that goal. I buy myself gifts every time I hit certain goals that I create for myself. I buy myself gifts and I think that, I don't know that it works for everybody. I think that it's very good for me. I create for myself a certain goal and I succeeded in that goal. I say to myself, I'm successful. Now, just given how good that now you need a present.
Now you buy
and I
yourself-
buy myself a present.
Oh,
And I decide beforehand a lot of the times what that gift is going to be. And depending on how easy I feel that goal
wanna
is
buy
going
myself
to
a
be
gift.
is what that what that item is going to be.
Now, hold on, Levi Laine's 20 no's is with his killer personality, determination, and he's getting 20 no's. Imagine like a regular guy who doesn't have your personality or your great looks or your,
Oh, you're too kind. Tell me more. Go on.
You want
I'm
to
just saying.
I'm a little bit of a narcissist.
Achas comes with a
Sag weiter. Sag
by the
weiter.
way, you want to elaborate what type of gift are we talking about? So
So it depends. Like I'll tell you this. One of the greatest things which we forgot to mention here, which is really, really, really important, is limud Torah. I found that limud Torah was a very big key in success as well.
Tonight's to see him at Rambam.
Exactly, and I'm part of the Perek Echad. I'm one of the losers that doesn't do Shleisha Prakim. I'm one of the guys that does Perek Echad. So yes, I just.
By the way, I'm very happy that you do Perek Echad. I'm also doing Perek Echad. Somebody one time said, there's the Perek Echad guys, and then there's the guys that do Shleisha Prakim, but they don't do Shleisha Prakim.
So it takes me. It doesn't take 5 minutes to do Perek Echad. It takes a little bit of time. Right now, I guess also if we could do a little shout out to the Chitrik Rambam. Freaking fantastic Rambam.
Tell me about the
Fantastic.
Chitrik Rambam.
So it's very similar to kind of like a if I can compare it somewhat to that, it's kind of similar to like a Schottenstein Gemara, but for
the
Rambam. It's very,
It's
very
full set?
fantastic.
Full set available?
It's not the full set yet.
Hello, Art Scroll. Lubavitch is waiting for you to put out a Rambam.
So
Hi.
we have the Chitrik Rambam.
We've been waiting
We have
for
the
45
Chitrik
years.
Rambam. So like
We know you love Chabad, so print something we want.
most of
Hey!
the Svarim from the Chitrik Rambam I find to be exceptionally useful in the early years. Yeah, I had to open up a machine.
It's in English?
No, I don't know if it's in
Levy,
English. I have the Hebrew version.
if you asked 100 people before you owned a retail store, should you open or not, what were the numbers? Yes, no.
Why? You see, saying has been Umanasa.
I
I'm
just
going to
wanna
go
know.
and say, nobody else should open a jewelry store.
No,
That
how
should
many people
only be
asked you?
for me.
No.
Only I'm allowed to open a jewelry store.
Said. How many people told you not to versus yes?
Most people told me
People
not
in the
to.
streets.
90 or 80? What percent?
Most people told me not to. Also, when you're going to do the research online, you're also going to see
Maybe
what the
percent?
chances of survival for a new retail store is going to be.
Hey, what was an 80-20? Give us a gut
Yeah,
feel.
probably, yes.
80% and no. Okay, cool.
80-20.
Thank you very much.
One second.
Oh, I'm sorry,
The
one more.
Torah thing.
I'll tell you, I'm sorry.
There are days, I don't know how it is for other people, there are days that you hustle and you work your little tail off and you try to get business going and nothing happened the whole day. You come home, you're depressed and you're miserable and you think to yourself, Schmatte, you did nothing the whole day. Mamisch gar nicht aufgetan. You opened the store up or you ran around the city, you tried to get something going.
Don't forget, you also paid a few workers.
And you paid some workers, and there was mamish garnish nicht aufgetan. Everything you told, everything you touched,
Failed.
turned to dreck. Right? Those days, unfortunately, I'm sure people, I have it. I can't speak for others.
Only you. No one else in the world.
Sit down 12:30 at night. The banks aren't open. There's no vendors calling you up. There's no customers generally. No, there are generally not that many customers calling you at 12:30 unless they're overseas customers or Californian customers, West Coast customers calling you at that time. Still, focus. Open up a Rambam. You start learning Rambam. You finish a Perek. You say to yourself, I did something. Now, you could, and if you're learning it properly, I don't know how properly I'm learning it. What I feel for me is properly, at the end of the day, you say to yourself, you know what? I succeeded in learning a Perek Rambam. Then afterwards, you open up a Gemara for a few minutes, and you learn a shtick of Gemara, and you understood it, or at least to a certain degree you understood it. You say to yourself, you know what? Gang and Schlafenheit, I learned a Perek Rambam. At least, when it's right before I'm going to sleep. I'm learning 12:30 to 2 usually. So I'm more, I can focus a little bit. Like again, there's no banks, there's no nothing. It's quiet. It's quiet time. It's Levi time. So I can sit down. Shout out to Mendy Zwiebel, Shliach in Chico, California. He's my chavrus. He's been my chavrus since 2019.
Mendy,
so we sit down. We learn a Perek Rambam. You sit down and you learn a little bit of Tanya.
Zwiebel, you said?
Zwiebel.
Meilich Zwiebel is his son?
Yes.
Wow.
Sit down,
with the top round.
you learn a little Gemara. Right before you go to sleep, you have that feeling of, you know what, even if I had a bad day in business, understood. And there's nothing as geschmack as understanding a piece of Gemara. Like when you didn't understand and now you understand it, or you worked to understand, you're like, you know what? I'm going to sleep. Epis habe ich aufgetan. I understood a piece of Tanya. I understood a little bit of Rambam. I understood a little bit of
anybody
Gemara.
that wants to jump on the Rambam train, we just started.
Start at any time.
No, but
I
started
started
at the beginning.
Smack in the middle. When I started Rambam, I made a chlota. When I started the business, I couldn't focus. I couldn't read. I couldn't learn. I used to learn beforehand. Remember, Beis Shner, we had our shiurim, we had our Gemara shir. I had a chavrusa, Zola Zaina good Eisbetter, Yudi Duke set me up with a chavrusa. I was doing Gemara with Janet, and I really enjoyed it very, very, very much. When the Yerchaim the Yerchaim Al Tzavoroi came in, and I was Al Tzavorai in this case, it was immense. The pressure was crazy. Trying to, hit the deadlines, trying to finish the orders for the people, let's say originally on the street, trying to come up with the rent, all of these things, I couldn't focus. I couldn't learn. I couldn't, the words were blurry. I couldn't see a word. And it was crippling to a certain degree. But on the other hand, I was being successful. I was hitting the goals that I wanted. But on the other hand, when it would come to learning, my head was all over the place.
Now I see how we did 4 hours.
I made a chalata.
Evergreen.
I said to myself, the
you
day
can't mix up inner circle evergreen. The
Eibishter is going to bless me. With the point that to the point where I can hire somebody that will. I was doing the bookkeeping as well. Bookkeeping. I was doing everything. The day that the Eibishter is going to help me, and I'll be able to hire a proper bookkeeper and not have to deal with. I was doing from 12:30 to 2 quiet time. I was doing the books then. The day that the Eibishter is going to help me, and I'll be able to hire a proper bookkeeper that will help me do the books. That same time that I was doing the books myself from 12:30 to 2 every night, I will designate that time learn instead.
Right.
You know what? Since 2019, Baruch Hashem, obviously there were a couple of episodes in my life that Baruch Hashem, that I had to take small breaks, but overall, we finished the Rambam a couple of times, and we've gone through a decent amount of Gemara. We've gone through the Tanya a couple of times.
Who do you learn Gemara with?
Same, Rav Zila.
Oh, Chavrusa, the same Chavrusa.
Same Chavrusa. Or
Tiffany.
that he remembered.
Chabad of Chico?
Chico, California.
Chico.
He remembered. He reached out to me, Baruch Hashem. At the time that I made the Achlata, I was already starting to learn by myself. I started Rambam to
His father was the biggest Chassidus head in the world. You should learn some Chassidus with him.
We do.
Oh, you do Chassidus also?
We learn Chassidus as well. We learn Chassidus as well. Baruch Hashem, a fantastic guy. I was with him in yeshiva. So to me, he remembered. I started learning myself because I made the hachlatas. I started learning, but it's always better to be learning with somebody else. He reached out to me one day and he was like, Levi, I made a hachlata that from my father's yard site, I'm going to be finishing the Masechta. And I remember in yeshiva, I was always a night owl. Things just don't change. They always say to you a lot. I remember throughout the years, they were like, you're not going to be successful because you don't show up. Like, Baruch Hashem, I own my own business. I'm able to work at my own hours. When I did work for somebody else, you have to make sure that there's bread on the table, so you're going to show up when you need to show up. He's like, Levi, are you still a night owl? Are you still like, I have available, for him it's 9:30, for me it's 12:30. He's like, are you still up at those hours or did you maybe become normal? I was like, no, I'm still available. So since 2019 till today,
I love it. Toida is the best
Toida, exactly.
Toida.
Rajin Kessel.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much,
you.
Levi. Amazing.
Levi Laine Jewelers.
Now available on DVD.